Hey, Tomas. So, what do you want to talk about?
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering where the hell we've been and why it took almost 2 weeks to get our WrestleMania review out,
WrestleMania!
that's because we were there. We
hmm
experienced it all. We didn't just experience WrestleMania, we experienced Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor. Zach and our friend Jacob experienced NXT Stand and Deliver. We experienced WrestleCon. They experienced the horrendous night after Mania Monday Night Raw. We went to Disneyland. We came back. Real life smacked us in the face as hard as it could. And now it is what it is, but you're going to be getting a buttload of content from us. You're going to be getting the Mania review. You're going to get the Super Card of Honor review. You're going to get the Stand and Deliver. You're going to get the WrestleMania Experience review and a bunch of stuff on top of that. It
Yes.
was honestly one of the best weeks of my life and the best trip I've ever gone on. We experienced it all, and I'm going to try my best to not get into the experience part, but it was a blast from start to finish.
I second that, my friend. And again, I don't want to, I don't want to blow my load before we actually do the experience review and everything like that, where we tell stories from the week. Because trust me, there's a lot to get into in terms of the stories. But it's just
There's
stuff I'm going to be laughing at forever.
Yeah,
Like,
if there's one thing we need to say right now, it's that if WrestleMania comes remotely close to you, we are from the Bay Area and WrestleMania was in LA. Do yourself a favor, get out there, experience it all, go to as many wrestling shows as possible, go to fan interactions, go to conventions, go to it all because, like we said in our WrestleMania 31 review, we kind of robbed ourselves of the entire experience because outside of WWE, there's Ring of Honor, there's NXT, there's Impact. There's wrestlers you can meet. There's things to do in the area. It's a
there were
celebration
And
of
there's a lot of
professional
stuff we
wrestling.
didn't even do. There were GCW shows going on. I don't want to. I don't think there was a New Japan show going on, but like,
There was an Undertaker one man show going on. There were
hmm
WWE meet and greets we didn't get to because we opted out for WrestleCon. It was
yes.
so freaking fun. But we're going to save all that for the next video. We're here to talk about the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 39, spanning between two nights, April 1st and 2nd, at the beautiful SoFi Stadium in
Oh
Inglewood,
God.
California. The only thing experience wise I want to talk about is how beautiful and how amazing SoFi Stadium was. It was easy. It was accessible. There was not a single thing that we went through that was difficult. This is a brand new stadium, and they had all of the things sorted out right away. Like getting into the stadium, barring one thing that I'm not going to get into, was easy. Getting to food, getting to the bathroom, getting to merch stands. It was all so accessible for like every
hmm
section, and we were hyped. And this was quite the show. There was some good, there was some bad, there was some excellent, and there were some downright head scratching things. And
Oh yeah.
I think, what do you want to do? Do you want to talk about the fallout in this video or save that for the experience? Because a lot of what we're going to be talking about, believe it or not, is
I mean,
outdated
we
because
could
WWE went through a
we
lot
could
these
address
past couple weeks.
we could address the elephant in the room that WWE sold off to Endeavor, which is the parent company of Ultimate Fighting Championship, which I'm not gonna say is like a horrible thing for the company. Not just yet. But hey, I'll say this much. At least they did not sell to the Saudis like everybody was
Yeah,
rumoring in January. But
I want to
um,
save all of my thoughts for Endeavor buying WWE for the end of the review because I feel like it's a direct fallout of what happened at WrestleMania. But I digress. We are opening up with WrestleMania
well,
39. We
yes,
got
WrestleMania 39. I don't want to like jump the gun here, but after rewatching the whole show, I think it's a top 5 Mania for me.
twice.
Just
I
because,
rewatched it twice.
oh man, Tomas is a freaking maniac here. So,
I It was, yeah. I want to say, and this is all bias aside of being there, this was better than last year's, just with match quality and booking wise. I know my biggest issues with last year's WrestleMania were I wasn't a fan of Pat in theory. I just didn't think the match really made any sense. I wasn't a fan of the main event. I didn't like the
no,
unification match. I didn't like Reigns and Lesnar for the 15th time in a very disappointing match. And regardless of what you think about the
the
finish of the show,
biggest WrestleMania match of all time, remember?
the, our main event this year was leagues, and I mean leagues above better than the bullshit they gave us
Because
last
they
year
didn't
at
shove it
WrestleMania.
down your throat. Triple H
Yeah.
knows to not like market that as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. He's going to let the wrestlers play that out. He's not going to market it as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. That's up to your interpretation. So,
Yeah.
with
So, like I said, we opened up WrestleMania with Becky G giving us America the Beautiful. She is an Inglewood native. She is Latina, so she's automatically good in my camp. She's a great singer. It was a great rendition. But we open up with the cold opening by Kevin Hart. One thing I really liked about this is that they didn't. Kevin Hart wasn't hosting WrestleMania. He wasn't in every segment. He
he
wasn't
was
making it
not.
all about him.
Oh, we'll get to that.
WrestleMania is a pop culture phenomenon, and of course they're going to pull out the big guns to do this cold open. I thought Kevin Hart was great. He really
Funny.
put the grandeur of this wrestling. Yeah, he was funny. They didn't put all the focus on him. He talked about WrestleMania. It was honestly up there with the LL Cool J cold open. So I thought that was really it was really good. And if they're with the Hollywood theme, they dropped a joke here or two. It was great. And then as we
Awesome.
opened, speaking of hosts of WrestleMania, we opened up with The Miz, and I must have been in the dark about this because I hadn't watched the last two Raws and SmackDowns before Mania. And apparently they announced that Snoop Dogg was going to co-host WrestleMania. I had no idea. Please educate me a little. Was this announced on TV?
I don't believe it was, but Snoop Dogg was all over the advertising for this WrestleMania. Even on the day the tickets went on sale at the launch party, Snoop Dogg was heavily featured there. So I assumed that he was going to be taking part as a celebrity inclusion anyway, as a Hall of Famer, and he's a mark for the business. So he would have wanted to be there. Like
being in the area in Compton, Inglewood, it only made sense. And again, I just think this was very missed opportunity by WWE because they could have advertised the hell out of Snoop Dogg being co-host of WrestleMania. And here's the thing. Let me get this out of the way right now. And you alluded to it. Celebrities in wrestling can be very cringy. You talk about your Drew Carey's. You talk about your NASCAR drivers. You talk about your the Reverend,
Rob
a lot of these
Gronkowski.
celebrities that get you talk about a lot of these celebrities that get roped into doing WWE, and they look like they don't want to be there. They're just there to, get the casual fan. But Snoop Dogg, for years and years and years, is a professional wrestling fan. He wasn't there for a quick payday. He wasn't there just for the exposure. Snoop Dogg loves professional wrestling. And if I say this, I'm going to say this right now, and we're going to be mentioning it throughout the show. Snoop was the best WrestleMania host ever because he did everything a host is supposed to do. He was there at the beginning of the show. He was there in the middle of the show. He was a part of entrances. He was called this guy a freaking actor because he was doing quick changes off the wazoo. He wore like 4 different outfits on night 1 alone. He loves the business. He's always wanted to be involved, and not to bury Lee. On night 2, he got involved in the best way possible. So Snoop Dogg, he's fucking awesome, and he's my favorite celebrity in professional wrestling.
We'll certainly get to that, and I'll leave my thoughts for when we actually get to that match. But Miz and Snoop welcome us to WrestleMania. Miz is wearing the sparkliest suit you could ever find at Men's Warehouse. And we open up the show with a big one. It was announced like 3 weeks before that we were opening WrestleMania with this match, but I felt very privileged to see this gentleman live once again after 5 years.
And before I get into what this opening match is, I got to give my shout out to The Miz. I feel like people shit on him a lot, and I'm just going to say this now. The Miz has earned his right to be in the position he is in the business. He's one of the hardest workers. He's a solid professional wrestler. You give The Miz anything, and he, I don't want to say knocks it out of the park, but he does his damnness with this. And this year, he was not included on the card. He told he was going to be the host, and he still put in the work. So shout out to The Miz. He's a true pro. You cannot not call The Miz a professional wrestler because he is to the highest degree. But this opening match is Austin Theory defending the United States Championship against John Cena. And like we like to say on this channel, how did we get here? After Elimination Chamber, it seemed like out of nowhere, Theory was calling Cena out, like in random interviews. Like nobody would bring up John Cena, and he would just say, "I'm better than Cena. Bring Cena. Bring Cena." So I thought like kind of the segue into the feud was kind of random, but Cena was advertised for a Monday Night Raw just to, say hi to the fans, celebrate his 20 plus years in the business. And Theory said, why don't I, go down there and say hi to my good friend John? He comes out and he praises Cena, says that he's an inspiration to him, and says, I'm going to give you the honor of facing me at WrestleMania. And Cena says, no, thank you.
No.
Straight up, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I'm not going to fight you at WrestleMania. And Cena basically says, I'm not going to fight you at WrestleMania because you're not worth my time. And he goes to verbally abuse this man. Tell him he's boring. Tell him that nobody cares about him, that he doesn't have it, that he, I sarcastically saying he has the best name in pro wrestling, but he doesn't. Basically, for the first time in his career, Cena knows his worth, and he's saying, you're not worth my time.
And Cena basically tells Theory the crowd does not care. And, I would much rather have people tell me that I suck than have people pipe in crowd noise from Gorilla because nobody cares. It's... And one promo that John Cena cut, because that was his only appearance on TV in the build-up to Mania itself. But Cena, this is why he's, the GOAT of all talkers, in my opinion. Because with that one promo, he sold me on this match. And I wasn't really looking forward to it fully. I was looking forward to seeing Cena again. And
he didn't need to see anything else other than that.
This guy runs down to the ring, and he is accompanied by a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids who are on stage living out their dream. Cena has had so many great entrances throughout his WrestleMania career. He has gone to the ring with a bunch of clones. He's gone to the ring with a marching band. He's driven a Ford Mustang through a pane of glass. This is the most special John Cena entrance you're ever going to see. And
I mean, everybody else said it best. You want to get the waterworks going. I will say, and I'm going to be talking about live aspects. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about live aspects of the show during the show because I feel like it's only appropriate to talk about. It was hard to make out what they would do in certain segments. And then when they were showing the Make-A-Wish, basically promo, I was sitting there thinking, that's an odd place to put this. We're waiting for Cena to come out. And then you realize, oh, shit. Cena is going to do his entrance with some Make-A-Wish kids. And Mike Rome said on the microphone that these Make-A-Wish kids, their wish was to be at WrestleMania. So Cena had them all on the stage. And again, this is the first WrestleMania match Cena has had since
36, the Firefly 36? Funhouse match.
Yeah, technically, but actually being there, you want to go all the way back to 2018. And Cena, selfishly puts these kids in the spotlight. And it is so cool. He hits the ramp. He high fives every single kid and says, you're at WrestleMania. Oh my God, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So Cena's ready to go. He runs out to the ring. The match gets underway. The first thing I want to say is Cena looks really pale.
Yeah, he has a lot of hair. Hasn't really been out in the sun too long, out in the movie studio. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking we're all going to shit on this match, mainly because a lot of people were reporting that John Cena was phoning it in. John Cena's the greatest of all time. John Cena's going out there on movie sets. He's learned his lesson from The Rock. He does not want to get injured and have the agents up his ass about getting hurt and postponing the shoots. So he's learned his lesson. Just be grateful that John Cena made the time to actually come out and entertain us for a little while and actually give someone like Austin Theory the rub here. And Austin...
Look, it's not 2015, 2016, 2017 anymore.
No.
Cena doesn't have to be doing flip pile drivers and hurricane ranas. He doesn't have to prove anything anymore. He proved he can talk. He proved he had the work ethic, and he proved that he can wrestle. He was out here to make Theory look good. In my opinion, he accomplished that with flying colors. Theory was mostly on offense for this match. Theory was playing very dirty in this match. Like, there were points where Cena had him backed up in the corner and Theory bit Cena's ear. That was crazy to see. Later on in the match, Cena has the STF on Theory and Theory bites Cena's thumb. And it's just like, Theory's here to play. He's playing very dirty. He's raking the eyes. He's raking the back. He knows he's in there with the 16-time world champion, and he's not here to play. He wants to win. And I feel like that's the story that played out very well. I get it. These guys only got 11 minutes. I get it that Cena was really laying it on thick with Theory, saying that this is the biggest match of your career. You need to go out. You're going to go out and face the most hellacious crowd in WWE history the night after. Like, the pressure was on Theory, and I would have loved to see these guys go 20 minutes with very close near falls and attitude adjustments and 8 count downs. But Cena was just here to put over Theory, and I think they accomplished that very well.
You know what's surreal, Tomas? Austin Theory is in his mid-20s. He's around our age. He grew up, his favorite wrestler back in the early 2010s when John Cena was being really thrust down our throats was John Cena himself. He didn't care that John Cena was being force-fed to him. He found him as his idol. And here he is. Good for him getting his dream match here. Love that for the guy.
So yeah, Theory was the one doing the fancy stuff. He was the one doing the missile drop kicks. He was the one doing that beautiful rolling drop kick through the ropes that he always does. You know, Cena's calling his shots in the ring very loudly. That's Cena. Get used to it. And this happened in the opening match. We're sitting up in like the third tier. We have a good view of the ring, but ladies and gentlemen, when you're in a stadium and your focus is on a tiny ring and two tiny people fighting, your eyes get strained very easily, and you need the Jumbotron that's right above you.
Oh, God.
And in the middle of this match, it fucking broke.
Here we go. Yep.
It broke.
State-of-the-art SoFi Stadium.
And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be that grumpy Gills that's complaining about that. But this would happen several times throughout the show. And by like the fourth time, we were annoyed and we were letting our voice be heard that fix that fucking screen.
Yeah, it was loud in there for this match, and there were loud fix the screen chants, and anytime they did fix the screen, there was a loud pop for it. So
yeah, because here's the thing.
Funniest thing.
My OCD ass was doing this after every pinfall attempt. I was trading my eyes. Like I would watch the ring pinfall attempt, and then I would look at the screen because both manias and a lot of wrestling shows, it hurts your eyes. You need the screen. And I'm not saying I'm not stupid. I'm not saying, I'm going to watch the screen when it's happening right front. No, you ever go to a wrestling show, unless you're fucking ringside, unless you're on the floor, you need that fucking screen. So that was very infuriating to watch, but that was funny. And like I said, we get near the end of the match, and it's your standard, formula. Cena goes for the attitude adjustment, and which leads into a ref bump while the referee is down. Cena puts in the STF, and Theory taps out.
He does.
But there's no referee to catch it. Theory catches Cena with a low blow, hits the A-Town down, and pins John Cena to retain the United States Championship.
Clean.
It was clean for the most part. The Theory's a dirty heel, and if you're mad at Theory for cheating, well, Theory's a bad guy.
Theory's a good professional wrestler, guys. I hate to break it to you, but here's my issue with this finish. Because honestly, on the surface level, it's a pretty formulaic, traditional John Cena style finish. We've seen so many ref bumps in John Cena matches over the years. We've seen a lot of people tap out to the STF when the ref wasn't looking. I wouldn't have a problem with this match necessarily if I just hadn't seen the same exact finish a few hours earlier in the main event of Stand and Deliver. It was like, oh my God, this is like literally Carmelo Hayes won the NXT title the exact same way. Like, it's weird how they do it.
I'm not going to sit here and say this is a 5-star classic because the build, the promo build, and the match itself didn't really match up. This match felt like Theory and Cena went in with absolutely no build when Cena was laying it on very thick. So I just feel like the stakes should have been higher. It should have been a little more competitive. I get that. But Cena's here to do a job. He did that job well. That's Theory. I just combined Cena and Theory's name. Theory retains. I'm going to give this match 2.5 stars. I thought it was fun. It was a fun opener. The crowd was hot. We were hot for Cena. And I know over the years, the crowd's been very 50-50. This crowd was 95-5 when it came to Cena. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally in that era where everybody loves and appreciates John Cena. John Cena was our Hulk Hogan. If you started watching wrestling in the years of like 2002, 2003, 2004, you've literally watched this man go through his evolution. And Cena is our Hogan. And, I was planning on wearing this shirt, but if Cena wasn't my Hogan, when I'm a 28-year-old man, I was giddy as hell to buy this shirt. The minute I saw somebody wearing it, I was like, I need that shirt. I was literally in the bathroom right before the show started. I saw that shirt. I told the guy I really liked it. And me and him just literally talked about, I'm like, dude, I've been watching Cena ever since I was 10 years old. And he said, same thing. I'm just excited to see him. So I think everybody was just so excited to see Cena wrestle. And this is the first time I've seen Cena wrestle live since, I want to say 2016.
Damn. Since No Mercy, probably when you were in attendance for
When he
that one, that
wrestled,
triple threat.
yeah,
Yep.
Moxley and Styles.
Yeah, that's a banger triple threat, by the way. Hidden gem now, but yeah, I was honored to be there for another Cena match in this day and age. But oh man, the honestly, Tomas, like across this card, there wasn't really a stinker out of the advertised matches, in my personal opinion. There may be one that's debatable that we'll get to later, but we have the WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match on the men's side. It's the random tag team of Braun Strowman and Ricochet going up against the Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy, and the Street Profits. Loud pop for the Street Profits in the stadium, by the way. Oh my God, these guys got 9 minutes, and this was just a full-on chaotic sprint the entire way.
This match,
it was so much more fun.
Had,
so much more fun than it had any right to be.
Yeah, this match had no right being this good. But let's just say these four teams had a chip on their shoulder because, you know, Strowman and Ricochet being thrust into this random tag team, Alpha Academy being the workhorses of Raw, Viking Raiders being the workhorses of SmackDown but not getting a lot of TV time, and the Street Profits being one of the most popular tag teams in WWE right now. This match had no build and had no reason to be on the card. It wasn't even for a tag team title shot. Everyone was bitching and complaining that this was just such a random match on Mania. I was all for it because I heard the rumors that Triple H didn't want to include everyone at Mania, and I thought that was blasphemous. So the fact that these four teams, you know, Strowman just made his way back to the company. Ricochet's been kicking ass. The Street Profits, ever since they got screwed out of their first WrestleMania, deserve to have every WrestleMania entrant. Gable is the fucking workhorse of Monday Night Raw. He deserves a spot on WrestleMania.
He sure does.
This match was so fucking fun from the start. Ricochet and Chad Gable mix it up, which that's a sexy match on paper. Would love to see that. It was so we can see it.
Oh man, I was enjoying myself so much. I just wanted to see Ricochet and Gable go at it for a little while, but I mean, if we were only getting 8 minutes, we were gonna have everybody like get their shit in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you want to talk about the MVP of this match, Chad Gable, with the most amazing feat of strength. He got his WrestleMania moment when he gave Braun Strowman a rolling chaos theory, lifted a 350-pound man over his head and suplexed it, and we gave him a standing ovation, and Gable had a tearful look in his eye like, you deserve it, buddy. This is your moment. And
did it not once but twice. Not once but twice, by the way. Chad Gable, maybe one of the most underrated workers on the roster, even though Hunter features him every single week. This guy is supremely entertaining. I don't know if I want them to break up him and Otis right now, if they want Otis to join up with the Maximum Male Models, but if they want Chad Gable to go on a singles run, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm game for it because his matches have been so freaking good since Hunter became head of creative. So freaking good. But Viking Raiders get their stuff in. Braun Strowman gets the after he gets the standing ovation, he of course responds the only way Chad Gable can. Thank you.
Yeah, in a perfect way possible. I feel like the Viking Raiders, they haven't been featured on SmackDown a lot, but this match reminded you how fucking good these guys are because they're mowing absolutely everybody down. The only spot in the match I didn't like after watching it on TV, they mow down everybody in the ring, and then they just stand and pose with Valhalla for like 30 seconds. And I'm just like, okay, cool. You got your shot, but they're just standing there and standing there and standing there. Because I don't know, maybe Strowman missed his cue or something, but Strowman finally appears, knocks both men down, and now it's time for the Strowman Express.
The smallest steps in a run you'll ever see live. I've seen Braun Strowman. Here's my thing, though. I've seen Braun Strowman wrestle live so many times. I don't know how many times I've seen the Strowman Express, but one thing I just cannot help but giggle at is how tiny a steps Braun takes when he's taking his laps around. He was running around the ring for a while, too, because, you know, WrestleMania, showcase of the Immortals, right?
Well, he's probably scared to trip again. Because remember, on his first night back on Raw, he tripped doing the Strowman Express. But he mows down Eric. I think he mows down Otis. He's running around the ring to mow down somebody else. And fucking Angelo Dawkins just fucking explodes and tackles him as hard as he can. You could hear that thud. Don't sleep on Dawkins. That was
I was gonna say that.
Awesome spot.
Yep. Oh, it sure was. Sure was. Ricochet with a beautiful looking shooting star press on Dawkins and Eric onto the outside, which was a glorious visual. Please propel Ricochet
I
to the moon. Like,
you just Dawkins is sitting there celebrating, and then all of a sudden you just see Ricochet swimming through the air. Like with Michael Cole popped for it too, saying that he paused in midair for a second, but just in one fluid motion, Ricochet leaps to the top rope, and then one swift motion, rope into a shooting star, lands on everybody. Ricochet is pumped. Ricochet goes back into the ring for another shooting star press.
such a great
but
finish.
This time, Dawkins gets his knees up, and then, oh no, before I want to talk about the finish, I want to talk about that beautiful Tower of Doom spot where everybody just, the power bomb into the superplex, into the cross body block. But the finish comes when Ricochet misses the shooting star press. And this was a pretty cool finish, actually. Montez Ford goes for the cash out,
Great
and he
finish.
lands on Ricochet while Ricochet is still on Dawkins' knees. It would have been really cool to see the Alpha Academy pick up the win to get the feel-good moment. But the Street Profits, they're just fucking amazing. I'm never going to complain about them winning.
No.
They win. You're going to call me crazy for this, but after watching it, not only live, but on TV, I'm going to give this 4 stars. This was
Really
so fun. Yeah.
Man, I want to give it 4. I'm going to go 3.5 though. I mean, I really freaking dug this match. If they had gotten like 5 more minutes, of course I'll give it 4 stars because I could see these guys wrestle for ages, but they're only allotted 9 minutes, and like some of the spots felt a little bit rushed to me on a rewatch, but there's no denying that live we both had so much fun with this thing. I would highly recommend you guys check out this match if you haven't. It's so much fun.
Here's the thing. I would agree with you that a 4-star match that only got 9 minutes is a little like maybe a little much, but not only the energy from this match live, it showed very well on TV. I just enjoyed it that much. It was so fun. And I even left out the part where Braun Strowman jumped off the top rope and did his top rope splash.
Oh my God. And the Strowman and Otis stuff. The Strowman and Otis stuff was so good. Like,
and apparently Ricochet has been personally working with Strowman and has been training him to do the top rope splash.
There you go.
Strowman, I hope he learned his lesson by teaming with Ricochet.
So too.
I really hope he learned. And I think he did. I feel like everyone said, oh, Strowman's in the doghouse and this is punishment. No, I feel like he needed to work and travel and train with Ricochet to learn the flippy dippy shit is just as important as the big man shit. So it's cool to see everything come full circle.
So now you know what the next step is, right? Before we get to this next match, split up Strowman and Ricochet, please. I think Strowman's learned his lesson. I want to see these guys get singles pushes again. I want to see them feud against each other. I think their matches would be really fun.
Well, with the draft coming up, I think that's a very good opportunity to draft Strowman to Raw and keep Ricochet on SmackDown or vice versa. We'll get into the draft later. I think we should save that for another video because, like I said,
please,
so much has happened since we come home. But oh my God, if you want to talk about a match that had me and you and Jacob and my girlfriend sweating bullets with anxiety, this is it. This was the match other than the main event. It is the ultimate disruptor, the ultimate douchebag Logan Paul against the visionary, the revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth
How did we get here?
Freaking Rollins.
And we've already covered it in Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul eliminating Seth Rollins in the Royal Rumble. Logan costing Seth Rollins the United States Championship. It was after that Rollins really wanted nothing to do about Logan, but he was shit-talking him on a podcast, saying he doesn't belong here. He doesn't respect the business. He has no place in here. But after some shenanigans with The Miz and a FaceTime call, Rollins said, I need this man out of my life. He's going to challenge Logan to a match at WrestleMania. The build was pretty good because Logan...
It was fun.
It was a very lopsided build with Logan getting the upper hand on Rollins almost all the time, knocking him out not once but twice. Kind of made you worry if Rollins was able to pull off the victory against Logan. And here's where the WrestleMania entrances began, the special one.
Here we go. Let's talk about these entrances real quick. Logan Paul makes his way to the ring first, and he's like, take me up, Hollywood. And he is literally, like, he has a house mic on, and he is propelled down to the ring from the rafters, just like Shawn Michaels did back in 1996 in Anaheim. Oh my God, this was so fucking disrespectful. Especially considering.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate when you're done.
Oh boy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know what you're gonna say, and trust me, I was right there with you when it happened, but hurt a lot of people out. I get it. Maybe doing an entrance like that is not the right thing to do for safety matters.
No.
I do not think it was a jab at Owen. I do not think it was a jab at him.
No.
People were saying there's a difference because Owen was lowered from the ceiling and Logan was just being propelled down a zip line. And the rigging was different. All of that was different. I get where you're coming from. And I don't like Logan Paul either, but I highly, highly, highly doubt it was a jab at Owen.
I don't think it was a jab at Owen either, but like, especially after Owen died in the ring after being like brought down from the heavens, like, come on, man. Like, you could have done a lot better. But he does come out with a big, gigantic Prime Energy drink mascot. This will come into play later. But Seth Rollins' entrance, this might have been one of my favorite WrestleMania entrances ever.
One other thing I want to say about Logan's entrance is that this fucking douchebag says, I got a zip line for my birthday. And I'm just like, at least Logan knows how much of a douche he is and how it can play into his character. Because what the fuck was that with the babyface shit last year?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? We don't want to like Logan Paul.
Please never turn Logan Paul babyface ever again. Never. But
like I said, I'll let you take it from here with the Seth Rollins entrance.
Okay. So we are introduced to a man by the name of Jasper Randall, who is a famous conductor for orchestras in the Hollywood area. And as soon as he was introduced and his title was given to us, I was sitting there, and Tomas can attest, I have the video of Seth's entrance to prove it. I was like, no way. There's no way he's freaking doing this. So Jasper Randall has his baton. He starts conducting our side of the audience. He cuts us off. Musical theater people, we know when to cut off. Nobody else cut off around us. So he goes to the other side of the arena. And I noticed they were piping in crowd noise as well. You kind of need that, though, to follow along, you know? Like, you kind of need that. It's almost like karaoke. So he conducts the other side. He goes, does the whole stadium. Seth Rollins comes out. What the fuck is he wearing? What the fuck is he wearing? Like,
you know what? My girlfriend Brittany said it best. He is the red carpet. He was the red carpet. He was wearing, a lot of people said it was a Jeff Jarrett tribute. No, it was a Shawn Michaels tribute. Which was really cool to see. Seth Rollins just has this aura. He has this swagger that I don't know how to explain it. It made me so happy. Real quick, I want to say, I'm not calling anyone out by name. I listened to a few people at WrestleMania. They said this entrance was stupid. I have one thing to say to you. Have some fucking fun in your lives.
Have some fun. I strongly disagree with those people.
Somebody had the gall to say his WrestleMania 34 entrance was better.
No.
What did he do at 34?
He just cosplayed as the Night King from Game of Thrones. That was it. He just came out to his normal theme, cosplaying as the Night King. And I'm like, there's nothing special about this. You just put up LEDs to show that, oh, this is another Game of Thrones cosplay like he did against Triple H. Like,
so I'm just like, I don't know what you wanted. The whole gimmick with Rollins is right now is that everyone sings his theme song. So I don't know what you wanted. It was fun. I get it. It's biased because I was there in the stadium, but have some fucking fun in your lives if you thought that was stupid.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more, but oh man, this was a very fun match. And I don't think, again, I don't think I was as anxious as Tomas and Brittany were, even as anxious as Jacob was. Because I knew this whole build was Logan having the upper hand on Seth Rollins. And if Logan had won this match, knowing how this, like, it's probably going to be a one-match feud. I don't think these guys are going to fight again. But knowing how the feud had gone and the trajectory of that feud, like, there's no way Seth wasn't going to win this. Because he was way too over with these people.
Let me tell you, I think they told the story beautifully, and I think Triple H booked this beautifully into making us think that Logan Paul was going to win. Because I will say this right now, these guys had excellent chemistry. This is, in my top 3 matches of the entire weekend, or WrestleMania wise of the
Really?
2 nights. I love this match so much because the storytelling was on point, the chemistry was excellent. I know I've been very wishy-washy back and forth with Logan Paul. I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. I do not like him. I think he is deplorable. Um, but after seeing him wrestle a few times, I did admit that he's a good professional wrestler. But then he goes and makes an ass out of himself in real life. So it's like it's very hard for me to appreciate this guy for him to sing his praises in the wrestling ring when he's such a fucking dick outside the ring, even just as recently as last week, which
Hmm.
we will get into in a minute. But I can't deny
He
that this was such an excellently crafted match.
yeah, say what you want about the human being and put that aside for a second. I'm looking at this as a critic. Logan Paul understands this business, man.
He
And he
does.
he went in there and he was the freaking biggest stain on humanity like you could possibly imagine. He was definitely like he hits a buckshot lariat, which is beautiful when you see how he does the move. Misses a frog splash. I mean, it's a very athletically gifted match here. Seth Rollins does hit a curb stomp on the outside on Logan Paul's knockout right hand on the steel steps, and Logan's selling of this really freaking good. This is when this is when the match gets really fucking silly. So
Here comes my spot of the weekend. I'm
the
saying it right now.
prime
This was my
mascot,
spot of the weekend.
the prime mascot starts distracting Seth Rollins. Everybody around me, and Tomas included, thinks that it's Jake Paul.
Yeah,
But
I got so scared because as I was watching the match, I look over and I go, the Prime bottle's still there. And then it clicked. There's somebody in that Prime bottle costume. And I'm like, fuck, it's Jake.
yeah,
It's Jake. And
it
that's when I
was
started getting scared.
it was too tall to be Jake, so I knew it was probably going to have to be someone else. Little did I know it was going to be another YouTube sensation known as KSI, who 10 years ago was streaming WWE 13 on his YouTube channel. Now here he is at WrestleMania, and it's like,
Who?
I know exactly. I know he's a part of Logan Paul's camp, so I can't exactly like give him the credit where it's due, but it's like, it's
Look,
surreal
let me
seeing
get
another.
this- Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was making. Okay, here's the thing. I will get into this more in the experience review. When you drive 6 hours and you're with a bunch of people that you love, you get loopy. You go crazy. And when we were at the superstore, I kept looking at Logan Paul and say, "Oh my God, it's PewDiePie." And I'm just sitting there thinking, this is like if Markiplier and PewDiePie showed up at WrestleMania. Look, I'm an old man at the ripe age of 28 years old. I'm an old man. I don't know what the fuck a KSI is. I don't know what the fuck a Prime Energy drink is. I just know that Logan Paul's a fucking dick that I don't want to say what he did because I don't want to get you demonetized, but you know what he did.
You know what he did.
Recorded.
Yeah, it's the kingdom of. I mean, never mind. That's not what KSI stands for. So, so KSI gets involved. Seth Rollins is on the announce table. Logan Paul has a Prime Energy drink in his hand. KSI is filming this, and Seth, like, Logan takes a swig of it, spits it out like he's Triple H. Seth pulls KSI onto the table as Logan Paul is in midair, and it was perfect timing because Logan Paul looked so terrified that he just frog splashed his friend through the table. And Michael Cole with one of the best calls of the weekend screaming, "Bye-bye, KSI!" You can't write that. Can't write that.
I don't like KSI either, but props to him for playing along.
Mm-hmm.
Props to him. This was so beautifully timed and excellently crafted that this was my spot of the WrestleMania weekend portion. This was just, I loved it. I went back and I rewatched that spot so many times. You can't say KSI took a bump because he was wearing the Prime costume for a reason. That probably resisted a lot of the blows. But you know what? It probably still hurt a little. Logan Paul coming crashing down onto your sternum. I'm sure they heavily patted him so it would hurt as very little as possible. But I will give him props for playing along. And that fucking face, fucking face when he took off the mask is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So that's when Logan gets thrown back into the ring by Rollins. Rollins goes for a pedigree. Logan kicks out. And this was some very excellent. Yeah, this was an excellent storytelling element I noticed from Logan. Once Logan kicked out of the pedigree. I think he countered with another move that I can't remember right now.
Logan
But
hit
I think
Seth Rollins with a Logan hit Seth Rollins with a go to sleep. Yeah. A GTS.
Fuck you, Phil.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And that's when Rollins kicks out. Yeah. Rollins kicks out of the GTS, and then you start looking at Logan's face, and he's just like, he's discombobulated. He's distraught. For the first time, he's thinking, maybe I'm not good enough to do this. And you can tell because he's going up the top rope. He's kind of like slipping a little. He's like second guessing himself. And I thought that was an excellent piece of storytelling by Logan. I will give the man his props there. He goes for a frog splash. He hits the frog splash and Rollins kicks out. That's when Logan starts getting desperate. He sets up Rollins for a coast to coast. He goes for it, and Rollins nails him with a beautiful super kick.
You want to talk about
curb stomp?
You want to talk about beautifully timed? How about that super kick? Like, you could argue that was more beautifully timed than the frog splash. That was beautifully timed for the hilarity of it. The execution of Rollins hitting that super kick was just pitch perfect. Yeah, curb stomp. 1, 2, 3, and Brittany breathes a humongous sigh of relief 3 seats over from me. So there you go.
That was so much fun. You're going to call my ratings outrageous. I'm going off of the fun factor and the WrestleMania factor and how much enjoyment I got. This gets 4.5 stars. This was so fucking fun.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, this was tied. Enjoyment, oh my gosh. It's a 3-way tie for the match of the night. Mm-hmm. And you already know which other ones I'm talking about. But this was so fun, and it was so cool to see. It was an excellent it was the feel-good moment. It was the feel-good moment. Oh my gosh, this is WrestleMania, night 1. I don't care if I'm a fan, I don't care if I'm marking out. It had all the feel-good moments.
Really was the perfect night of professional wrestling there. I'm rating this match 4.25. I think it's like, if it's not Logan's best match that he's had in WWE, it's right up there. I mean, I could definitely argue that it is his best, and it may be biased because I was there to see it live. I don't know if it's better than Seth versus Randy Orton from 31. I'd have to go back and rewatch both of them again, but I think this was certainly more fun. I think it's an acquired taste. You go to watch his match with Logan Paul for the fun. You go to watch his match with Randy Orton for the drama. So there you go.
If you are somebody who has never watched professional wrestling before, you're intrigued by this WrestleMania, and you see Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, and you just detest Logan Paul, you're watching this match to see Logan Paul lose. And I feel like the roller coaster of emotions made it more fun. A lot of people are saying the Roman Reigns match was better. This is why I disagree. Both matches were excellent. The Rollins-Logan match was a little more unpredictable just because you know damn well Logan Paul wasn't going to beat Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship. You knew damn well, which here, there was that little sliver of anxiety that made you think that Logan could squeak out the win. Because think of it this way. This is Logan's second loss in a row. He has not won a match since he beat The Miz at SummerSlam. He is a featured attraction. And like I've said about Brock Lesnar, like I've said about Goldberg, like I said about Cena, how many in a row are they going to let these people lose until they kind of have to get a win?
I mean, I would pay $60 every month to see Logan Paul lose every time. So,
yeah,
I mean, take that for what it's worth.
The next rumored match is Logan versus Cena. I feel like it sucks because on one hand, you're really going to make Logan lose 3 times in a row. On the other hand, Cena has already lost so many in a row, which a lot of people say, oh, Cena can lose 10,000 matches and he'll still be over. I get that, but why am I going to watch Cena if all he's going to do is lose? Why am I going to watch these featured attraction guys if all they're going to do is lose?
Like Brock Lesnar. So, yeah.
Like Goldberg.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. But great match. We go from Seth Rollins to his wife, Becky Lynch, probably because they want to put Little Rue to sleep. Becky Lynch is teaming up with Lita and Trish Stratus to take on the team of Damage Control in a trios tag team match. Becky, Lita, and Trish get a Batman-style introduction to kind of be the sequel and the successor to Becky's Marvel Studios signature entrance that she got last year. Lita, Trish, and Becky come out in black and white tint. Damage Control comes out wearing Joker colors. It did not dawn on me until like halfway through the match, but clever little Easter eggs like that really grind my gears. It's really awesome.
Yeah. If I could nitpick 2 things before we get in this match. Number 1, WWE sure loves just making up new nicknames for people when they don't need them. The, what was it? The man of the masses. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. She's already the man. She's already big time Beck. She does not need to be the unsung man of the match. Like, stop it. Just stop it, WWE. Also, did Becky Lynch and Lita really need to be tag team champions going into this match? Did they
Nah.
really need to? That
Nah.
was one thing that was bugging me. This is supposed to be like a united trio versus another united trio. Just seeing Becky Lynch and Lita being the tag team champions with Trish Stratus on the side just looked very lopsided. You know what
Yes.
I mean? It's a tiny, tiny nitpick. And at the end, people would say, oh, it's because Trish Stratus ended up turning on Becky Lynch this past Monday on Raw when they had to
Spoilers.
lose the tag team titles. I'm like, did they really need the titles involved, though? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
Speaking of
it's
Trish,
a nitpick. It's whatever.
Speaking of Trish, seeing her in person, I'm convinced that she does not age. She comes out wearing a modernized version of the attire she wore the last time WrestleMania went Hollywood 18 years ago. So it's just, it's crazy to see that. Crazy to see Lita also in only her second WrestleMania match, which is a blasphemy. Last time she appeared on the WrestleMania card was in the semi-main, directly following The Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Lita's a legend. She deserves so much better. And I love the fact that they gave Lita a lot of the ring work in this because probably had the least Mania experience out of the three members on her team, which is a crazy sentence when you think about who her partners are. But, I mean, good. Yeah.
I like this match. A
I
lot of
liked
people
it
were
too.
complaining about it. It did in the beginning. We were still worn out from the Logan Rollins match, and it did take a minute for it to pick up steam. But once they got into their groove, I thought it was fine. Remember, there are two ladies in this match that are not full-time workers anymore. I think it was cool to see Io Sky and Dakota Kai get the WrestleMania stage when literally 9 months ago one was almost on their way out and the other one was fired. I think it's cool. And people gotta realize that WrestleMania is about the moment and it's about people getting, the hard work paying off. And I thought this match served exactly what it needed to. Near the end, we got some really fun spots.
Yes.
Like the acai moonsault from Io Sky. That's always really fun to see. Lita's scary ass looking moonsault that she always does. Trish Stratus putting a new spin on the stratosphere, which I thought was really cool. You don't see that a lot.
To the outside. I believe she hit it on Dakota.
Yeah, apparently Lita did a move that I can't really remember right now, but apparently she learned that from Bay Area wrestler Dark Sheik that I had a conversation with a couple months ago at the indie show that's really close with Lita. So I learned that through Brian Zane's review. I thought was really freaking cool.
That's awesome.
I like the ending. I will say, I thought the ending was really cool. I love the chain of finishers, the triple finishers. It's really hard to get a successful chain of finishers because everyone's got to ruin it by just doing a clothesline or something like that. But I thought it was really cool to see the Lita salt into the chick kick into the manhandle slam off the top rope. I think that was. Yes. I know Damage Control has kind of like lost a step or two, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. I'll give it 3 stars.
I'm going 3.25 because I like the in-ring work and I like the finish as well. So freaking proud of Io Sky and Dakota Kai getting on this card. Dakota deserves everything. She's an absolute sweetheart. Io Sky now the #1 contender to the Raw Women's Championship, which is an awesome thing to see. I think at this point, now that Becky has pinned Bayley decisively, defeated Damage Control, I think it's time you split this trio up and see what they can do on their own. But they're starting to plant the seeds.
It's a little scary. Yeah. It's a little scary considering, the draft is coming up. They may want to split up the group. A lot of people have said, well, you got to take into consideration Io Sky kind of needs a mouthpiece because her English isn't that great. I don't want to see any of these ladies, not be featured because the trio is split up. If there's another tangent I want to go on, I've heard a lot of people these past couple weeks saying, why are Trish Stratus and Lita back all of a sudden? I don't fucking care. I do not care. Now, you will say, well, isn't that a little hypocritical of you to say when you complain about Sting all the time and you complain about all these old timers like winning championships? Allow me to be a little biased towards the women for a second. The women like Beth Phoenix, Lita, Trish Stratus, Victoria, they were in the wrong era. we are in a new era where the women are getting a lot more TV time. They're getting a lot more spotlight. They're getting main events. So this is their second chance to get some of that spotlight. And I'm not going to complain about that. I don't give a flying fuck why Trish Stratus and Lita are back. I get to see Trish Stratus on Lita almost every week on Raw now for the time being. I want to enjoy that. So whatever. I don't give a shit why they're here. They're here. Enjoy it. Enjoy it before they hang it up for good.
Yeah, Trish and Lita were the first people to ever main event a Monday Night Raw. The first women to ever main event a Monday Night Raw, rather. Excuse me. But I don't care why they're back. I'm just happy to see them. It was really, really cool to see Trish and Lita in a match in person. Never done that before. But, oh boy. Oh, you're ready for this one. I don't know if you're ready for this one. Rey Mysterio, just inducted into the Hall of Fame, is now taking on his pissant son, Dominik. One-on-one, full-on grudge match. This is something Rey Mysterio has wanted to do for a long, long time, and it's only fitting that the same weekend he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he gets to share the ring with his own little bastard son there. Not that he's really bastard, but...
Yeah. The build for this match has been very nerve-wracking, to say the least. Every single week, ever since the Royal Rumble, I'm not going to nitpick too hard about this, but Rey Mysterio went to SmackDown to get away from Dominik, but the Judgment Day just showed up on SmackDown anyway because fuck the rules, I guess. And every single week, whether it be on Raw or SmackDown, Dom is calling out his father, saying, fight me at WrestleMania, fight me at WrestleMania, fight me at WrestleMania. And Rey just keeps saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to lay a hand on my son. I guess Dom pushed a little too far after he told his mom to shut up, and Rey just absolutely wallops him on an episode of SmackDown, says, you don't say that to your mother, and that is my wife. So finally, all chips are down. Rey versus Dom at WrestleMania. I will say, going into this, the entrances were awesome, but I feel like they took a look. It wasn't just me, or did they kind of lean off of the prison Dom stuff for a minute? But then they just randomly decided to introduce it back at WrestleMania.
Oh, God. I was so happy to see that. I don't care if they were leaning off of the prison Dom stuff. He served hard times. Yeah, he enters in a police trooper, and he is wearing his father's Halloween Havoc 1997 mask. It is eerie. Once Dominik puts that mask on, he is the spitting image of his father, only a little bit taller. And he goes down to the ring. He is the most
scary.
Smug,
how much he looks like Rey.
The most smug little piece of shit walks down to the ring. Rey Mysterio comes out, sitting passenger. Go ahead.
I was laughing my ass off when I saw him come out in the convoy. That was the fucking funniest thing in the world. And when you're watching it on TV, Michael Cole gave birth to a cow. He is absolutely just dressing down Dom. This is the best commentary you're going to get from Michael Cole this entire weekend, in my opinion, when it comes to sheer passion, because he is dressing Dom down, saying how disrespectful in Lucha Libre. You are given the mask. You cannot wear it unless it is given to you. Somebody said this. Orange is the new black.
Cast off.
Straight. Yeah, scared straight, cast off back into the clink. And Corey Graves has to calm Michael Cole down. But like you said, Rey Mysterio,
he is sitting passenger.
This is my second favorite entrance of the weekend.
This is probably my favorite entrance all weekend. Rey Mysterio is sitting passenger in a lowrider, which is being driven by Snoop Dogg. They first come out to Nothing But a G Thing, and then you hear Viva La Raza blare over the PA system. Eddie Guerrero's old WWE champion theme song, and I'm getting choked up thinking about it because I never in a million years did I think I would hear that music again on a live program.
I cried. I cried. I literally looked up at the sky and I was just like, that was the most beautiful surprise I ever could have got in my entire life. It was so just like, it was like time froze. And when I heard that theme song, I was just like, it's for fucking you, Eddie. That's for you. Yeah. And then it transitions into his regular theme song. And oh my God, this crowd was going absolutely ballistic for Rey Mysterio.
Oh, and yeah.
It's just like, it was just absolutely beautiful. And then it all gets ruined by the fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsorship. Could WWE have picked a more inappropriate match to feature the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Man, which was Sol Ruca in a costume and the Cinemojis? They couldn't have done this during the tag team match. They couldn't have done this during the 6-woman tag team match. They couldn't have done it in the impromptu match we got later. But it did. It
Tomas,
did give us the funniest line from Corey Graves.
Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, you don't understand. It had to be included during this match because you had to teach Dominik a lesson. He didn't know what Cinemojis looked like. So you had to give him a line. You
of the weekend.
You had to give him a visual aid in
Corey Graves
in a costume on the outside. Hey, son. Hey, son. This is what a Cinemoji looks like. How about that?
So Cole says, "Oh, get your Cinemojis while they last," and Corey Graves says, "Well, Dominik doesn't know what a Cinemoji is. They don't have those in the Clink."
Well, of course they don't. They don't have a lot of things in the Clink, but
why do you need to know? I don't want to know what a Cinemoji is.
This match,
I want to let you know right now, I will never buy Cinnamon Toast Crunch ever again.
No, no, just to spite Nick Khan for letting Cinnamon Toast Crunch pay like a hefty sum to be featured.
I will never buy Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm not going to go see that shitty Russell Crowe movie, and I'm not using Intuit taxes. I'm not using Intuit tax. Oh, you're going to go see that movie?
Of course I am. I'm also a movie critic. I have to. It looks decent. You know? Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But, like, moral of the story, Tomas is very pissed off about the sponsorships, and you could sense it in the stadium. Every single time a sponsorship popped up, there were loud boos from the crowd. Loud.
Because they put them at the most inappropriate times. But I digress. I will say the Cinnamon Toast Crunch was so inappropriate to put during this match, but I was able to ignore it because this feud was awesome and this match was awesome.
It was so much fun, man. Like, if Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul was not fun enough, this is going to give you all the emotion with it, too. Because this is a blood feud, literally a blood feud.
And holy Lucha Libre, Batman. Do Rey and Dom have good chemistry or what? I wonder why.
Yeah, you don't say. It's almost like they knew each other their whole lives. You know? It's not like they knew each other their whole lives.
This was probably the best worked match in Dom's career. Better than the match with Seth Rollins.
You think?
Better than any of the stuff with the Judgment Day.
This
was the storytelling, the psychology, the emotion, the passion, and even the in-ring work was pretty good. Like they were doing some good lucha things in the beginning of that match with the head scissors and Dom being, incoming pun, the dominator in this match.
Oh God! Get out of here, you idiot!
And then Rey is able to send Dom into the steel post. And Rey takes off his belt, and he gives Dom the spanking he should have given him 20 years ago.
And our section immediately burst out into "You deserve it" chants. And Michael Cole on commentary, Dominik deserves it. That's good, you know?
And I'm so glad we talked about this a couple weeks after the fact, because then Dom goes out to ringside and sees, in his words, his dumbass sister and his mom. And Aaliyah is holding a red Solo cup. And Dom grabs the cup and throws water into his sister's face. Michael Cole is going ballistic, saying, "How could you do that to your own sister? Michael Cole, you must be an only child."
Aaliyah almost jumps the barricade to get to him, and Angie has to hold her back. Man,
that was for shoot. Aaliyah said that she wanted to kill him after that.
This might have been some of the most fun I had watching a match all weekend, just because of how into it the crowd was and how into it our section was. Go ahead.
Let me get this point out. Michael Cole, you must be an only child, because if you think a brother throwing a glass of water into his sister's face is the worst possible thing, you must not have siblings. And I hate to be disgusting for a minute, but they're brother and sister. I'm pretty sure Dom has held her down and farted on her face before.
Yeah,
they're
probably.
Siblings.
Probably, yeah.
And
they're
we
siblings.
have siblings. We have probably done the most horrendous things to our siblings before.
I
but
mean,
the best part about it.
Yeah, Rey and Dominik, this is a match that's almost 10 years in the making, because Rey Mysterio could not wait to beat his kids in WWE 13. And Dominik is still probably very pissed about that still.
The point I was just going to make was Dom was interviewed recently, and he said, yeah, that spot wasn't planned out. I went to ringside and I saw this dumbass holding a cup. So I thought I would just throw the water in her face. And I'm just like, they're siblings. that's
Which
the
brings me
tippy top of the iceberg of what he's probably done to her in his life.
Which brings me to a very fun memory that I have with this match that I'll never forget. You know, everybody I'm sure is aware of the asshole chant. Whenever you see a heel do something you don't like, you chant asshole, asshole at them as loud as you can. Since Rey and Dominik come from a Hispanic background and a Hispanic lineage, our section, culero, 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 and it's a chant that would get over on the Raw after Mania as well, and it was just so fun.
Shout out to the awesome dude that was sitting in front of us that night one came cosplayed as Eddie Guerrero, complete with the shirt, the pants, and an undisputed Eddie Guerrero title.
Yes.
He was the one leading the chant, and I thought that was so fucking cool.
He was such a nice guy, too. Him and the two other dudes that were sitting in front of him, if you happen to stumble across this video, what's up, man? Good to see you again. But, yeah, you guys were really nice. It was fun to be with you guys both nights. But
so, yeah, after Dom is done terrorizing his sister and Rey, he's able to get the upper hand on Rey because he slams him face first into the steel post. Near in the climax of this match. Oh, by the way, we really need to point out that Bad Bunny was on Spanish commentary for this match.
Oh, thank you.
Really cool to see Bad Bunny back in WWE. Even if it's just in a Spanish commentator, he would play a huge part in this match that I'm surprised a lot of people aren't rubbed the wrong way by this, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But Rey is about to defeat Dom, but then the Judgment Day come out, which I was very surprised to see because Finn Balor has a huge Hell in a Cell match with Edge the following night. So him and Damian Priest make their out to the ring. Michael Cole is fucking livid over this. But then we get the inclusion of the newly formed Latino World Order, which is Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Toto del Cruz, Joaquin Wilde. I'm so glad they got involved in this match because seeing them involved in WrestleMania, even in a small spot, a lot of people are confused to why Legado turned babyface. They get to work with their idol in Rey Mysterio. And they reformed the LWO, which was an Eddie Guerrero-led faction in WWE, or was that WCW?
In WCW? WCW, Eddie Guerrero led the LWO after he cut a scathing shoot promo on Eric Bischoff in 1998. So that's your WCW lesson. So it also, I love this LWO reformation because it also sets up the inevitable Santos Escobar heel turn on Rey Mysterio. And I have been pitching Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar at next year's WrestleMania in Philly. If you build it up right, if Hunter Hearst Helmsley builds this up correctly, then we could get a banger of a Rey Mysterio match next year with Santos. But
absolutely. Also, you look at this interference, and I thought it was played out beautifully. Toto del Cruz and Joaquin Wilde go after Damian Priest, and he's able to power both of them into the steel steps. And then Escobar comes in for the save with a beautiful suicide dive.
Santos is so good, man.
Yeah, Dom hits a 619 onto Rey and the frog splash where Rey is able to kick out. Dom is going for the prison chain he brought to the ring, and this is when Bad Bunny comes in to make the save. And here's the thing. If people think that Bad Bunny was out of place in this, he really wasn't. He was just he saw a wrong and he righted it. He was like, nope, you're not going to win this match with the chain. So he yanks the chain away from Dom. Rey is able to fling Dom into the ropes for a 619, a frog splash, and the win. I'm going to give this 4.25 stars. This the emotion and passion and storytelling in this match was excellent from start to finish. I love it. So
4 stars for me. 4 stars for me. I really loves this match. Dominik, I'm so proud of him. He's come such a long way since his debut in the Thunderdome. So happy that he got to work with his Hall of Fame dad. Congratulations as well to Rey, who well-deserved headliner this year. But
and now this leads into the obvious. They are building to some sort of tag team match with Rey and Bad Bunny versus Dom and Damian Priest. The Bad Bunny's already going to host Backlash in Puerto Rico. I think it's excellent to have, and it's really cool to see a Latino represented semi-main event, or possibly even a main event at the next pay-per-view. I think that's really cool to see Bad Bunny back into the
I don't know about a main event. I don't know about a main event when you have Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar on that same card, but
we will get to that. I'm just saying, you know, the cards are in place for, you know, Latino representation is awesome in professional wrestling. I feel like they're finally picking back up on that because we had an exclusive Latino United States Championship picture in 2020. We never got that fatal 4-way ladder match. I'm still very, very, very upset about that, but I digress. I think this is an excellent place for the feud to continue. I've heard rumors, and Dom has even said it in recent interviews, of a hair versus mask match at SummerSlam. And if that's
Mm-hmm.
where this whole feud culminates in, I think that's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, high stakes match. Maybe Dominik shaved bald, but we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. But next up, Tomas, is a big time match that a lot of people were very concerned was going to go on last for whatever reason. But
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with it, and especially how this match panned out. But it's the Royal Rumble winner, Rhea Ripley, cashing in her championship opportunity against the Queen, Charlotte Flair, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. You want to talk about simplistic entrances that made it feel like a big fight? You talk about this one. Rhea Ripley, it's weird because going into this match, Rhea Ripley's the heel and Flair's the babyface. But in this whole presentation, you could have fooled me with a double turn. Flair, there's something about Charlotte's entrances that are so simplistic, but you can't help but just awe in the beauty of them. She does the same thing every year, admittedly. She has the beautiful robe. She has the streams of pyro going around her, but she really is majestic.
I don't know if anyone else caught this or was thinking this, but Charlotte looked like a season 8 iteration of Daenerys Targaryen after she claimed the Iron Throne and is looking to defend it. So I don't know if Charlotte watches Game of Thrones or if that was intentional, but if it was, bonus points to Charlotte for that one. Now let me address this, Tomas. A lot of people have been really, really ragging on Charlotte Flair for quote-unquote trying to politic her way into going on last on night one because, in her words, Rhea Ripley won the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble winner should headline WrestleMania.
I mean,
let's see. Alberto Del Rio opened WrestleMania. Sheamus opened WrestleMania. Let's see. I mean, I could keep going on for ages. Edge did not main event WrestleMania after winning his first Royal Rumble.
There's some really good. Both sides of the argument are right. Both sides of the argument have really good points. Going into this, I would have disagreed, but this match was a banger. This is one of the best women's matches I've seen in WrestleMania history. And another thing I want to run to Charlotte's defense for: why do we hate Charlotte Flair so much when she produces the best matches in WWE? I don't get it. She is an absolute ring general. She knows how to work, she's a Flair. And regardless how I feel about Rick, the Flairs are some of the best storytellers to ever grace a professional wrestling ring.
Just to be clear, I never said anything about hating Charlotte. I've always loved her work, but
that's mostly to all the Charlotte haters, obviously.
Yeah. And to all the Charlotte haters out there who claim that she was trying to politic her way into the main event, wouldn't you, if you were a pro wrestler and you were in that position to potentially go on last at the biggest show of the year, you're telling me that you wouldn't try to politic your way into going on last? It's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah. So it definitely felt like these two ladies had a chip on their shoulder to basically show up everybody, and they succeeded. They succeeded very well. This is the first match in WrestleMania history, minus the commentators, to be all female. The wrestlers, the referee, the ring announcer, all female. I thought that was an excellent detail that Michael Cole pointed out. And props right now to Samantha Irving. I don't know. She's awesome. I know Mike Rome is your boy, and he delivered excellently on the show too, but she is my favorite ring announcer in professional wrestling right now.
All right. Better than Dapper Yapper. Better than Mike. Better than my homie Mike Rome. But
Mike Rome is awesome.
He
Justin Roberts is overrated.
He is. Give me. We're not talking about AEW right now, but this match, just to put in hindsight, these two wrestled a match at WrestleMania 3 years ago in front of 0 fans for the NXT Women's title. It was a great match, but it was missing something very important: the crowd heat. And these two not only exceeded those expectations that were going into the match, I think they made it all the better. Because both these two had a chip on their shoulder, they weren't going on last after all, so they were going to put on the best freaking match possible. That's exactly what they did. They were kicking out each other's finishers. Yeah.
Is this the stiffest women's match you've ever seen in your life?
Oh,
I think it is for me.
Certainly up there if it's not. But man, oh man, these two were hitting each other with the hardest possible blows you could ever imagine.
These two ladies, big boots, chops, just it was brutalizing. Almost as brutalizing as another match we're going to talk about on night 2. But oh my God, did some of these wrestlers, they have something to prove.
Technically speaking,
like it was the wrestling match.
Technically speaking, the counter wrestling these two had was just off the charts. These two have worked together many times since fans have come back, and they've all been pretty good matches, but none of them were a high caliber WrestleMania match like they wanted 3 years ago in Tampa. And they finally got to rectify that and then some. Charlotte, Rhea goes for a... Go ahead.
One nitpick about this match. The storytelling was all ass backwards. Again, Charlotte's supposed to be the babyface, and Rhea Ripley's supposed to be the heel. Could have fooled me. It was totally the other way around with this psychology.
God, everybody in SoFi Stadium wanted...
like a heel.
Yeah, everybody in SoFi Stadium wanted Rhea Ripley to win so badly. They wanted her to be on that level of Charlotte Flair, because Charlotte had beaten her time after time after time after time after time. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Rhea goes
because let me say this right now. Rhea Ripley, this is not the first time Rhea Ripley has won a championship at WrestleMania. She did that in 2021 against Asuka. So that just proves how over Rhea Ripley is, that they're going to rally for her even harder when she has already got the WrestleMania moment with winning a championship. And I would admit, I was right on that bandwagon.
Ripley goes for a riptide early, and Flair with a lovely counter into a DDT that Ripley sells like freaking it's mastery what these two have together. Flair going for the figure 8, and they were building up the figure 8 as a lethal maneuver that Rhea Ripley could not escape. And this was booked very, very smartly, because Charlotte locked on the figure 4, never contracted into the figure 8, never expanded into the figure 8. And
it's a lot like Kurt Angle's ankle lock. When he grapevines it, it's over. It is 100% over. There's no getting out of that. But the ankle lock still standard on its own is just as devastating. I feel like the difference is, are they actually – because here's the thing. When Charlotte Flair bridges into the figure 8, it's game over. When Kurt Angle grapevines the ankle lock, it's over. I think it's just the exclamation point on an excellent submission hold. So I think it's a good, spot of detail to pay attention to. I always give Charlotte Flair shit for her moonsaults, but I thought she pulled off a beautiful one in the latter part of this match. Definitely one of her better ones. One fan behind me was saying oh no, it was Jacob. Jacob was giving her shit about what? No corkscrew. There was a reason why she didn't go for a corkscrew in this match, and we're gonna talk about that spot right now. All of a sudden, Charlotte Flair is going for German suplexes. She's taking Rhea Ripley to suplex city. Rhea Ripley counters with a nasty fucking elbow to Charlotte's face.
Lands right on the bridge of her nose, too, on a suplex.
Yeah. Goes for a German suplex, and I shit you not, I am not exaggerating. Charlotte Flair lands face first onto the mat. Nose first, backs up in the air. She is literally in La La Land. No pun intended. And when Charlotte Flair comes to after that, you can tell she's on fucking Mars. Her face is swollen. She's got that glazed look in her eyes. She has no fucking clue where she is. And that is probably the nastiest German suplex I've ever seen in my life.
So again, I must reiterate to the Charlotte haters who think she's, just politicking and everything. Damn good professional wrestler and tough as nails. Because she went out there, even though she did not know where she was, finished the match. Almost like she was on autopilot.
And that was after she took a German suplex off the top rope from Ripley.
Yep.
So
Charlotte's a great pro wrestler, guys. I hate to break it to you.
Go back and watch that match, and it's just so gnarly because when she wakes up from that spot, she's almost unrecognizable of how swollen her cheeks are and just that dazed look on her face. Again, she's on fucking Mars at this point. And again, she keeps going.
This is where the crowd really comes alive. They start kicking out of each other's finishers. Charlotte kicks out of a traditional riptide. Ripley kicks out of a spear. They start going up to the top rope, and it's extremely dramatic. And I was sitting there, and I was filming this, and I was like, she's going to go for the avalanche riptide. That's how she's going to put Charlotte down.
This was the one match where you could see the finish getting telegraphed a little. So I pulled out my phone, too. I'm like, I need at least one of these finishes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already, saving myself to react organically to all the other matches. I need at least one. And
Uh-huh.
this was it right here. You could say the same for the Raw Women's title match. That finish was a little telegraphed.
Because
We'll get there when we get there.
Because let me tell you, Tomas, this might have been the most predictable match on the card. Rhea Ripley going in absolutely, positively, no ifs, ands, or buts, had to defeat Charlotte here. It was a must-win situation for Rhea, because if she lost, then that would just mean that Charlotte Flair was right all along. She has beaten Rhea Ripley pretty decisively every single time, and it pretty much says, hey, Rhea's never going to be on Charlotte's level. But here she is. It's her time. Here's an avalanche riptide off the top rope for the 3 count, and we just witnessed history. Rhea Ripley is the first woman to ever hold the SmackDown Women's title, the Raw Women's title, the NXT Women's title, and the NXT UK Women's title throughout her career.
And the WWE Women's Tag Team titles.
And you know what's even crazier about that? Rhea Ripley is only 26 years old. She is just getting started.
And she's the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. Triple H saw a star in her, and Triple H is working his magic with her. To think that someone who started in NXT UK in its inception worked her way up to the main roster in NXT, worked her way up to Monday Night Raw, worked her way up to the winner of the Royal Rumble, worked her way up to the main event of WrestleMania, and now is the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yep. Rhea Ripley is a star. Yes, I'm going to match
excellent.
it. I'm going to match it.
Excellent. My only nitpick that's holding me back from giving this 4 3/4 stars and possibly 5, the booking was ass backwards. I don't know why Ripley's a heel in this situation. You saw that celebration. That was not a heel celebration. She did not cheat. She did not stick thumbs in eyes. She did not hit low blows. She didn't use a weapon. The Judgment Day stayed out of this match because they were taken out for the most part. No involvement. This was a clean as a whistle victory. So that's my only issue with the match. Charlotte Flair was sitting at ringside, and she couldn't help but smile because she was so happy for Rhea Ripley. My only other issue with this, too, bye-bye, Charlotte. She's taking more time off. I know there's only so much Charlotte can do, but win the title, drop it to somebody, take some time off, lather, rinse, repeat. That's Charlotte at this point. Still love her, though. Still my favorite women's wrestler.
Oh, yeah. And she continues to prove it. Time in and time out. But main event of night 1, Tomas. Here we are. Finally.
Here we are. This was a match a year in the making. Probably the best storyline going in WWE all year. So many twists and turns, so much emotion, so much of everything you could ask for in a feud. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending their undisputed WWE Tag Team titles against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's WrestleMania. It's KO Mania. Everything that has started from Sami Zayn stepping foot in the Bloodlines locker room all the way until War Games, becoming an honorary Us, getting knighted by the tribal chief, to the backstab of the century, to Sami Zayn, to the Bloodline, to main eventing Elimination Chamber and failing to win the championship, to trying to get Kevin Owens back on his side, to get his friend back, to all these emotional promos and all this back and forth, to a line that Kevin Owens said that's going to stick in my mind for the rest of my life. You say that we don't have to be friends. I get that. But why would I want to fight for someone who doesn't want to be my friend in the first place? Oh, dagger through the heart. But this is just the best storyline.
And you want me to bury the lead? Today. And you want me to bury the lead? Not only the best storyline, this was my favorite match of the weekend, especially after rewatching it. Just because of the storytelling. All 4 guys went out there, and they knew this is historic. This is the first time that a tag team match has headlined a WrestleMania event since 1985. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. And
the first time a tag team championship match has main evented WrestleMania.
TLC 2 did not headline WrestleMania X7. The Triangle Ladder match did not headline WrestleMania 2000, but this match did. And a lot of people
the cherry on the top. This is the second year in a row that Kevin Owens has main evented a WrestleMania. He deserves all the main events of WrestleMania until the day he dies.
In other words, fuck you, Vince McMahon. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. So I don't. What else do you want me to say about this match that hasn't already been said? It's fucking glorious, gang. Tag team wrestling. tag team wrestling at its finest. Everybody was on the edge of their seats, even though they kind of knew the outcome and they kind of realized that the Usos at 622 days were probably going to stop there. Can I just say for a second that the Usos have gone from winning the SmackDown tag team titles at the Money in the Bank kickoff show to defending those titles in the main event of WrestleMania? Dare I say the Usos are the greatest tag team of all time?
622 days, 2 years as the tag team champions. This was some excellent stuff, some excellent storytelling. I think Kevin Owens hit a swanton bomb from the top rope to the outside. Oh my gosh, Zack, can't believe we have to do this. We have to rewind. We skipped something.
Oh, we skipped something. We did. Oh, we did.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. We got so wrapped up in the SmackDown Women's Championship match and this main event tag team title match that we skipped something. Usually we would just keep going, but we have to talk about everything on the show. If you don't mind, Zack, I will take it from here and I will make it as quick as possible.
That's fine.
Let's rewind back. I'm sorry, y'all. That's on us, y'all. Snoop Dogg and The Miz were talking about the attendance, and I'll make this as quick as possible just so we're not dragging on it. The Miz said he issued an open challenge. Pat McAfee makes us out to the ring. That was kind of a little of a surprise. To me, that was like, okay, Pat's here, but okay, fine, sure, whatever. I like Pat McAfee, but it's cool to see the pop, but why is he out here? McAfee challenges The Miz to a match. Snoop Dogg makes it official. Snoop Dogg is funny as fuck. He leaves the ring and says, you're in there, I'm out here, I make music. Pat and Miz have a quick 3-minute match. The Miz tries to leave. He sees George Kittle sitting at ringside, quarterback for the 49ers. Go Niners.
Tight end.
He shoves Kittle. Can we edit that part out?
But anyway, yeah, George Kittle
the barricade. He hits Miz with a clothesline. The referee's back return, so it's not a disqualification. McAfee hits a swanton bomb. Miz doesn't catch him. He throws him back in the ring, hits him with the punt kick. Pat wins the match. It wasn't really a match. It was 3 stars. McAfee and Kittle celebrate. Fine, whatever. Back to the tag team title match. Tag team title match was absolutely excellent. Kevin Owens hit a bullfrog splash, not a swanton, I'm sorry, off the apron onto the floor, onto one of the Usos. Here we go. We're all caught up again. Not going to rate McAfee and Miz. It was
no, can't rate that. Can't rate that segment. But yeah, this tag team title match, in my opinion, Tomas, it's crazy I'm saying this. I think this is the best WWE Tag Team Championship match, the best tag team match in WWE since the SmackDown 6 in 2002. I would say it's their best tag team match they put on since No Mercy, which we talked about way back when we started the ZNT wrestling show, and we talked about that. But the Usos are in all white. There's just like, I mean, it's just awesome stuff. The fans are so into Sami Zayn. Everybody loves Sami Zayn. They're doing the Olay chants.
But there's 3 huge spots in this match that easily could have been the end, even though it was predictable. It had me on the edge of my seats. Number 1, the Usos hit the 1D. Someone brought up a good point. No one's ever kicked out of the 1D before, the one and done. And Sami Zayn's the first one to do it. So that had me holding my breath for a second. In the spot that I think should have ended the match, but I'm not complaining. This is me nitpicking. The Usos go for the double loose, and Kevin Owens breaks up the pin there. And it's right there where Zayn says, now, because they're both in the corners, Zayn hits a haluva kick. Owens hits the KO stunner, and we have a kick out. In my opinion, that should have been the finish of the match. I thought it was just perfectly telegraphed. But I digress. But the real finish of the match, I thought was just as good.
Yeah, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you there. I think the finish of this match was perfect, and we'll get to that. But Kevin Owens, yeah, that great near falls, the 1D and the dual finishers from KO and Sammy. There's also a point where Jay. Oh, man, I love this trope. Jey Uso hits Sami Zayn with the haluva kick, and I was sitting there like, oh, my God, he's going to pin him with the haluva kick, isn't he? And another fucking kick out. And I'm just sitting there like, just put me out of my misery at this point. Double Uso splash. Kevin Owens just saving his brother. Crowd is just absolutely going wild. Zayn wants the hot tag. He gets in there, and that is exactly how this match should have ended. Because Sami Zayn was the one who started all this nonsense when he stepped into the Bloodline's locker room. And who was the one person who saw right through Sami Zayn's crap? It was main event Jey Uso. So it was all about those two. No disrespect to Jimmy and his DUIs. No disrespect to Kevin Owens and his 2 straight WrestleMania main events. Sammy and Jay was how this thing should have ended. So what happens is Sammy hits Jay with a haluva kick. Direct callback to Battleground 2016 when Sammy did the same thing, ironically, to Kevin Owens. He picks Jay up and he's like, I think I got room for a second one in me. Puts Jay up, hits him with a second haluva kick. Jay is falling into him, and Sammy's looking into his eyes. Sorry, it had to be you, Oos. Because he legitimately loves Jay like a brother at one point, like an honorary Oos would. Goes over, hits the third and decisive haluva kick, pins Jay Uso, and we have new tag team champions of the world. 5 stars. 5 stars. Love this match. Love this match
This
with
is
every
probably the
fiber of my
biggest
being.
disagreement we're going to get this match. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. The drama, the storytelling was all there. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because I'm a little spot mark. And this was still excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent in every sense of the word. Now, if people are keeping track at home, you may have recalled I gave the Usos and the Street Profits at Money in the Bank 2022 5 stars. Now, you're probably asking me, what's the difference between that match that was a standard build and this match that had the best storytelling of all time? There's no really complicated to it. I'm a spot mark. I feel like that match had a lot more spots in it, had a lot more. And I'm not saying spots are over storytelling. It's just a personal preference. I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I love this match. This was the perfect way to end the night. And it's good that we got one perfect way to end the night. And this is why WrestleMania is 2 nights, ladies and gentlemen. Because when we left the arena, everyone was singing Sami Zayn's theme song. We were all happy for Zayn and Owens. It was a perfect way to cap off WrestleMania Night 1. I'm going to give WrestleMania Night 1 9.5 out of 10. It was just damn near almost perfect.
9.5 out of 10 for Night 1 for me. It was just like, we were on a trajectory to have probably the greatest WrestleMania since 19. Probably even better than 31, if I'm being completely honest. But, I mean, Owens and Zayn winning the belts, Rollins and Logan Paul having a really fun match, the father-son battle, only the second father-son battle since Mania 17 when Shane took on Vince in that street fight. We saw a lot of history in SoFi Stadium just in that Saturday. But then you get to Sunday. It's a little bit more hit or miss. You have some great stuff on this show, and then you have some questionable stuff going on. Bullshit. This opener.
When we entered the stadium, I couldn't help but have this lingering anxiety over me for one reason. Last year, Night 1 was excellent. Night 2, not so much. And then when I walked into the stadium and I knew what was opening the show, I just couldn't help but feel anxious. And I'm like, I have a feeling we're going to have a repeat of last year, which there's some good stuff slated. And there was some good stuff last year on Night 2, but it wasn't going to be. This was on the way to be the perfect WrestleMania. And let me just bury the lead right now. It wasn't, for more reasons than one.
Okay.
Now, let me say this right now before we get into all this. Just because I don't agree with the finish of something does not mean I don't think the match was good. Does not mean that I think that everything was excellent. The wrestling wasn't good. But there were stuff on this show that was just
head
match
scratching
quality, very, very, very head scratching. I swear. If I'm going to bury the lead even more, Night 1 felt like it was booked like Triple H. Night 2 felt like it was booked by Vince McMahon.
So I don't want to bury the lead too much, but especially after this main event, and I was just as depressed as I was with a head-scratching decision. In hindsight, I feel better about it, knowing kind of the trajectory of where the story is going. But please don't be a dick about it on Twitter. I had to block a couple of people who were, like, basically saying that my opinion was wrong. And I'm like, some of these are, I'm not going to name names because I'm a nice guy, but some of these legitimately have YouTube channels. And I'm sitting here like, bro, it's just professional wrestling. I can have my opinion.
Yeah.
You can have your opinion. Have a great day. So, anyway.
You can have respectful discussions with people without being a total douchebag. I love getting in debates with people. We get into debates all the time. But when you start being an asshole about it, that's when, it's all fun and games until someone gets poked in the eye.
Yeah, and don't rub it in my face.
But we digress.
Don't rub it in my face either, because there's some points that you made that were valid, and I can absolutely agree with you in hindsight. But the fact that some of you went ahead and was like just completely asininely just douchebaggy about it,
Yeah.
I don't stand for that. I don't stand for that at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brock Lesnar versus Omos. You want to talk about that?
This was supposed to be my bathroom break match, but they put it the first one on the show.
Yep, and Tomas
peed right before the show started.
Yeah, yep, and he had to sit there and give it a chance. Omos comes out with some brand new music, which is not a bop like his old music was. The crowd popped like mad for Brock Lesnar. Go ahead.
I think we need to talk about how we got here, because a lot of people who probably don't keep up with the day-to-day product
fuck that.
are probably going, in your Elimination Chamber review, you were talking about Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, and now you're talking about Brock Lesnar and Omos? Well, we're not going to get into the backstage part of it until we get to the next segment, or the next segment after the next match, but kayfabe-wise, TV-wise, MVP said, Brock Lesnar, you were so much of a coward that you got yourself disqualified against Lashley, so Omos wants to fight you. What sense does that make?
Doesn't make any sense unless Omos wants to be Lashley's heater in a reformed Hurt Business, which has also been scrapped. Bobby Lashley was supposed to wrestle Bray Wyatt on this card, right? Which
we will get to that. We will get to that when we get to that segment.
Okay.
Let's save that, because trust me, we're going to have a lot to complain about.
I know there's a lot of people who liked this match. I didn't on a rewatch.
Okay.
I was sitting there like, okay.
So, again, positives before the negatives. Number one, Omos's introduction. Mike Rome did such a damn good job. Because even though I was all the way over there, and the way Mike Rome was announcing Omos made me scared. Like I was, as I should be. They booked Omos perfectly. And for anyone who was saying, oh, but the fans are into it, it's Brock fucking Lesnar. Of course they're going to be into Brock fucking Lesnar. They're not going to be sitting on their hands. You're not going to be crickets. It's Brock Lesnar. Of course they're going to pop for him.
We were sitting in the 200s, and when Brock's music hit, everybody was on their feet. Everybody was on their feet.
So don't give me that shit about the fans are into it. Of course they're going to be into it. It's Brock Lesnar.
Listen, this match, the fans were loud in there for this match. But looking back on it, you've seen this before. Lesnar gets beaten down by the Giant. He hits a couple of German suplexes. He F5s the Giant, and he wins. You've seen this before.
Now,
you saw it 21 years ago at Survivor Series when he F5s the Big Show, and it was a lot more impressive because Brock was injured.
This match was exactly what it needed to be. It didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't botchy. It wasn't sloppy. It wasn't, anything to write home about. But when the match was over, I couldn't help but just sit there and think, that's exactly what it needed to be. And it was boring.
It was.
They could have pulled a rabbit out of the hat at this point. I'm not saying Omos do a shooting star press, but I don't know. Do something to kind of think of Big Show versus Mark Henry at Vengeance 2011 when they broke the ring. That was a very entertaining match. They surprised the hell out of me with that match. But this was just so standard and so skeleton-like. And then I see people that have the gall to say that this was better than Cena in Theory. Are you high?
No. I strongly beg to differ. Are you
smoking the shit that Riddle was smoking?
Well, he was.
What is wrong with you?
Clearly, he was in Los Angeles because, they might have borrowed.
Were you hanging out with Snoop Dogg backstage? Yeah, we were hanging out with Snoop Dogg backstage. What made this match better than Cena in Theory? At least Cena in Theory gave us some wrestling. I don't get it. Lesnar wins. So fucking what?
Can I rewind about 21 years? Madison Square Garden. Brock Lesnar, at a ripe young 24 years old, was defending the WWE title against the Big Show. Brock Lesnar was going in there with a cracked rib, and the story was that he could not lift up the Big Show. And it was so captivating because we had never seen it before. This match right here, it was not Brock Lesnar versus Lashley, like a lot of people wanted. It was Brock Lesnar doing a same old formula 5-minute match against the Giant. F5s him, pops the crowd, and he's done.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to think that I'm shitting on Omos. I'm not shitting on Omos. I feel bad for Omos.
I'm not either. I'm not either.
For him.
Omos
wasn't. Here's the thing. Omos was not the lazy one in this match. Brock Lesnar was. That's my issue with this match. Omos was not the lazy one in this. Omos went in there and played his part perfectly. But I have seen Brock Lesnar do the same tired ass German suplexes and F5s for over 10 years now. I'm over it. And I was just like, I just couldn't. Sure, the match didn't overstay its welcome, but I just couldn't help but like, of course that's what it was. There was nothing special about this match. I was going to be very harsh on this match, but I'm not going to be as harsh. I will give this a 1.5 stars. I will give it a 1.5 stars because it's exactly what it needed to be, and it didn't overstay its welcome. But fuck me for wanting a little more than that.
Yeah, fuck me for wanting Brock versus Lashley like a sane person, right?
Yeah, and this is not Omos's fault.
No.
Omos was given an assignment, and he completed his job. Assignment.
And he did his job. And Omos, in real life, if you listen to Omos in interviews, like, I'm sure in a couple years down the line, I will have softened a lot towards his push, and I'll be a big Omos sapien like a lot of people are right now, apparently. But he's a really nice guy in real life. He does not deserve this, like, backlash that he's getting. But
no,
he did not make this call.
I know we poked fun at him before. Yeah, exactly. We may poke fun at him, but this wasn't Omos's idea. I'm happy Omos got in a one-on-one match, a big marquee match like this. He's the one that's getting the rub. This is Brock Lesnar. This is all Brock Lesnar. And that's what just pisses me off about this whole ordeal. So apparently I'm in the minority, but I didn't like this match at all. 1.5 stars.
Same.
Most of the game.
Star and a half.
There was this hit in this was honestly, after this match, I was like, I got a bad feeling about tonight.
Yeah, and again, notice how we're disagreeing with the majority of you who likes this match. But moral of the story, we are not being dicks about it. We might sound like we're ranting, but it's that's the nature of the game in subjective discussion, Okay.
Up next was a match that I think got a little too much shit, but I actually enjoyed it. And I've been waiting for this review just to say this. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. It's the Fatal 4-Way Women's Showcase match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Shotzi and Natalya versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. We were sitting there. I will be perfectly honest. I was spacing out a little, and I'm just sitting there. And then Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green come out. And then all of a sudden, I just hear Samantha Irvin go, introducing next, the team of Chelsea Green. And we immediately snapped our necks and go, why'd you say it like that? Was Chelsea Green getting ribbed or something?
Oh my God. I've lost it. I've officially lost it. I think Chelsea Green was ribbed, but
I mean, get it. This match wasn't as good as the men's match. I will say that.
No,
but
not even close.
I still liked it. It was fine. I'm glad Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan and Shotzi and Natalya and
Shotzi especially.
Yeah, and nothing against Sonya Deville, but I don't know what the fuck happened with Carmella. And here's the thing. This was so set in stone. Yeah, this was so set in stone for WrestleMania and such a last-minute change that Carmella's face was in the program before this was even announced that they were going to be in the match. That's how set in stone this was. So I don't know what the fuck happened to Carmella, but she got replaced with Sonya Deville last second. Nothing against Sonya Deville. Just very surprising.
Yeah.
Carmella. There it is. Carmella.
There she is.
So what happened? I don't know.
I literally just had to get up, walk across the room, and get the program to prove that point. But
and also, let me be the first one to admit, I was cheering for Ronda Rousey, and he turned to me and said, "You're the only person in the stadium cheering for Ronda Rousey." And I go, "Yeah, I know,
Well,
I know,
because,
I'm aware."
I mean, I know she's working with a bum arm, and credit to her for that, but after the year she's had, like, not willing to work with Shotzi or Raquel Rodriguez, really. And here she is in a tag match. Yeah, that'll teach her. That'll teach her.
Yeah.
But
I wish I could say that, but I know the ladies did some fun spots. There was this really funny spot where Chelsea Green was going to jump off the top rope, and Raquel Rodriguez was waiting for her. And Chelsea Green had a choice. Do I jump onto Raquel Rodriguez, or do I jump to the outside of the ring? She decided to make a literal suicide dive and jump onto the pile of women instead of wanting to fuck with Raquel Rodriguez.
I freaking hate that move, dude. Raquel Rodriguez power bombs Liv Morgan to the outside. She power bombs her own partner, by the way. Power bombs her own tag team partner. And it's like, okay, you're basically telling me this is the same reason why I hate Kofi Kingston's trust fall. I know a lot of people like how majestic that is, but I hate it because it is legitimately telling you that pro wrestling is fake. Because it's basically saying, okay, the person executing the move is trusting his opponents to catch him. Why would they do that in kayfabe? Why would they do that? It's like, and why?
There's
a
difference between a suicide dive where literally an opponent is careening towards you and you have no time to react. There's a difference between that and just this person's falling backwards. I should just move out of the way, Samoa Joe style, and let him eat shit. Natalia does a double sharpshooter, which is always cool to see. I don't care how many times she does it.
Yeah.
You can tell we're getting tired. This is a very, very long night of professional wrestling, and we're kind of slogging through the slow bits here. Anything else fun happened in this match?
I think Ronda just made Shotzi tap with the armbar after not doing a whole lot. But
now here's the thing: yes, Ronda Rousey is injured, but usually when someone is injured, they just don't get to be in the fucking match. They let Ronda Rousey just stand around and do nothing while everybody else did the work, and she picked up the win. I know I just said I'm a Ronda Rousey fan, but even that's unforgivable. So was this really even a punishment? I bet that rubbed all the ladies the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's time to vote Ronda Rousey off the island, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Best of luck in your future endeavors. But they're not going to they're gonna do that. Obviously, they're not going to do that. No pun intended, but
I'm going to give this 2 3/4 stars. I liked all of the work from the other ladies in this match. And poor Shayna Baszler, she got her foot fucked up in this match to the point where she had to take off her boot. I think Corey Graves was a little confused because he just randomly said, "Why did Shayna Baszler take her boot off?" I was like, well, because it was her. And it sucks. Never like to see anyone get injured. I love Shayna Baszler, so I don't like to see that happen to her. But yeah, they picked up the win. I'll give it 2 3/4.
2.5.
Love the ladies in the match. Yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, after the first couple matches on WrestleMania Sunday, I was really starting to feel in the dumps. But thank God, next match picked us up.
Stuff. No, we have one more thing we need to talk about. So throughout all, I had to cut you off from before, but now it's time to talk about it. We were supposed to get Bray Wyatt versus Lashley.
Yep.
Something happened to Bray Wyatt. I don't know what it is. I hope he's okay. I didn't want to see the match because it made no fucking sense. I wanted to see Lashley and Lesnar because I don't know. Their last pay-per-view match ended in a disqualification, but Lashley is so mad about it that he wants Bray Wyatt randomly wants to pick a fight with him. And they did a couple spots on TV. Then Wyatt disappeared. So Lashley is sitting there without an opponent. We heard fan theories after fan theories after fan theories of people Lashley could fight. He could fight Bronson Reed. He could fight Jay White if they get him signed. He could fight a returning Big E. He could fight LA Knight. Yeah. He was the most over-peaking person of the weekend, and he wasn't even on the show. There was so many things he could do. And then it's announced Lashley's going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's not even on WrestleMania anymore. It's on SmackDown. So we're like, okay, Lashley can win the Battle Royal. And then Lashley can do an open challenge at WrestleMania. Why? Because Lashley himself said he was going to do an open challenge on Twitter because he said he was going to be at SoFi Stadium. So all this What's going to happen? Who's it going to be? Who's he going to fight? All these people, and then they announce Lashley. He comes out in a suit. We're waiting. Nothing happens.
Basically comes out with the trophy and waves to the crowd after the year that Lashley has had. That's what you do with him. And yeah, made us so mad. Imagine how mad it made Tomas as a big Lashley fan that he is.
So we already had Lesnar and Omos, an all-right tag team fatal four-way match, and Lashley walking out on stage like a fucking doofus.
Yep.
He couldn't do anything.
Nope.
Anything. Apparently, there were plans for Lashley to have a segment with LA Knight.
Yeah. They didn't do it, though.
They had time for so much stupid shit on this night, but couldn't find one thing for Lashley to do.
Couldn't find one thing for LA Knight to do. Couldn't find I mean, I know Randy Orton's not healthy right now, but that's become apparent. I was expecting Randy Orton to come out and RKO Lashley and beat him.
I wasn't.
No?
He's nowhere near ready to being healthy to come back, and that sucks.
Yeah.
You couldn't convince Stone Cold Steve Austin to come on the show? Have a what yeah off with LA Knight?
No.
I know Austin didn't want to wrestle, but he could still show up on the show.
He didn't.
That segment gets 0 stars.
Didn't. Yeah. That segment gets a big thumbs down. Lashley comes out, basically takes a bow for winning the Battle Royal on SmackDown. So
they could at least put the Battle Royal at WrestleMania, and he could at least win it there.
Mm-hmm.
But no. Yeah,
no.
2 nights of 4-hour shows. You don't have time for that. They better belt the fuck up. They better belt up Lashley again by the end of this year.
Oh, yeah.
How are you not fucking livid? This is the man that walked out of TNA because they weren't using him. But he's going to sit back and take this bullshit?
I mean, if Tony Khan wants to give him a call, then, you know, I'm sure he'd be glad to put the AEW title on him. But anyway, yeah. So after those 3 pretty depressing things on night 2, you get Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre in a triple threat for the Intercontinental title. This match was fucking dope, man. This is a match I was looking forward to so much. These guys got 15 minutes. If Clash at the Castle was any indicator, the classic that Gunther and Sheamus had there, and you add Drew into the mix, a former WWE champion, I mean, and a guy who's stiff in his own right, a guy who is best friends with Sheamus, him and Sheamus having a dream of going out there on WrestleMania and having a match like this immediately brought my spirits back up, man. I don't know about you, but I fucking love this match.
Was brought to you by Mike's Harder Lemonade.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Because. Anywho, all jokes aside, this match starts off with a Claymore, and that's, you know, exactly where this match is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Gunther wants Sheamus and Mac. You know, Gunther had a lot more charisma in this match than he had any right being, because the match starts and he looks at McIntyre and Sheamus and he says, okay, what are you waiting for? Go. Fight. It's just like, that's the most personality I've seen Gunther have, like, in like the 5 years I've been watching it wrestle.
With the grandest final boss style entrance for the mid card that you could ever imagine, because Ludwig Kaiser comes out and does his like Guillermo del Toro ringmaster introduction of Gunther, and he walks down to the ring in a beautiful shot of that stage. It's just like, which I should mention, that WrestleMania stage, top 5 Mania stage. Freaking love it. Looks like the Oscar stage. Looks like the Oscar stage. Movie posters.
Wow. Watching this match live didn't know justice. I had to go back and watch it on TV. My chest hurts after watching that match.
Mm-hmm.
The chops from Gunther. Those are like, you could hear their chest caving in on how hard he was hitting. Mm-hmm. And chops, boots, clubbing blows. This match had it all when it came to those kind of stiff shots. You had McIntyre and Sheamus giving Gunther dual chops and the beats of the Baldwin at the same time. And then Sheamus gives Drew McIntyre 28 and a half beats of the Baldwin. The only reason
Good
why
Lord.
Sheamus didn't make it to 39 for 39 WrestleManias is because Drew McIntyre collapsed.
He
That was the
literally
damnedest thing I've ever seen.
melted into the apron. It was just so much fun counting how many beats of the Baldwin was
damn good.
gonna do. You know, this is a fucking banger of a triple threat, if I could use the proper Sheamus term for a minute. If looking back on it, I really love the match. I feel like they could have belted up Sheamus here. I really feel like they could have, but
I was gonna get to that to the end. Again, this is all just chops and boots and headbutts, and got some really cool near falls at the end of it. Sheamus with the brogue knee, Drew McIntyre with the Future Shock DDT, Gunta with the Gunta bombs. The only move missing from the match was the Last Symphony, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm cool with Gunther just sticking with the chop and the power bomb as his finisher, but that's a tiny nitpick there. Sheamus busting out the Celtic Cross, which is a move he doesn't use a lot. McIntyre hits a Claymore, which gets a kick out. That doesn't happen often. Sheamus with the brogue kick, that gets kicked out of. That does not happen often.
An avalanche white noise.
McIntyre with the Glasgow kiss into the brogue knee. This match is just, it gets a standing ovation, and it deservedly gets it. Yeah, the ending comes when McIntyre hits a Claymore, but Gunter basically just rushes in, hits a powerbomb on top. No, powerbomb Sheamus on top of McIntyre after hitting a powerbomb on McIntyre. Gunter gets the pin, and that's where I'm going to have to agree with you. I love this match. A lot of people are giving it 5 stars. I'm not going to give it 5 stars because I love that Gunther is getting this gargantuan run with the Intercontinental title.
He's going to break the Honky Tonk Man's record.
This felt like this needed to be Sheamus's moment. Like, they were building to it, and I don't understand why Sheamus was getting a third shot if he wasn't going to win it. A lot of people made good points about this. They're trying to break records and records and records, but apparently WWE is perfectly okay with sacrificing moments in the sake of just reaching these milestones. Like, I get it. I do. I get it. But at the same time, this weekend, as we'll get into our other reviews, whether it be Ring of Honor, whether it be WWE, whether it be 2 times at Ring of Honor, actually, there's just been this trope of us wanting to see, out of the 5 instances that have happened, we only got our payoff once, and that was the tag team title match to bury the lead. Just so much of this, the babyface gets so close, and he just doesn't win.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. It's a trope that adds to storytelling, but when we're not seeing the payoff to that trope, it just gets depressing. Why am I going to cheer for Eddie Kingston if he never wins the big one? Why am I going to cheer for Mark Briscoe if he never wins the big one? Why am I going to cheer for Sheamus if he never wins the big one? It just gets so exhausting after a while. And that's how I felt after this match. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because I'd be an idiot to not give this the high marks that it deserves.
I'm going 4 3/4 stars. This is my second favorite match of the weekend, believe it or not. My favorite match of WrestleMania Sunday. I mean, just everything these guys were throwing at each other. Just
kind of help, but just be a little disappointed that we didn't at least get that one. But congratulations to Gunther. He deserves everything he's getting. And at this point, make it all the way to September with that title. Fuck the Honky Tonk Man. I've heard people say, oh, let Honky keep. No, fuck Honky. Have you ever met him? He's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Let Gunther break the record. Yeah. So, anyhow, Gunther retains. It's a great match. I'm not, overly upset about it, but Sheamus probably should have won this. Maybe he wins it at another pay-per-view down the line. But, okay. Next up, Tomas, is a match that really had no story going into it. Aside from,
not really,
can they coexist?
I really didn't care because I was really happy to see these 2 ladies in this such big spotlight. It's Asuka challenging Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka got a cool little entrance with a lot of Asuka clones following her to the ring. And we were in a lot of debate. And this is a respectful debate. What? 3 adults having a respectful debate? No way. A lot of people, and we were discussing Bianca Belair turning heel and how her shtick has kind of ran its course. It's a little dry. And Bianca Belair is led out to the ring by a troop of little girls in their dance troupe called the oh my
The
god, I
Divas
feel
of
like
Compton.
thank you, God. I was like, I'm a fucking asshole for being
It's
your name.
okay.
And they do an awesome dance routine to Bianca Belair's theme song, which is a bop in itself, completed with this little contortionist that bends her legs behind her head and does a spider walk. That was so cool to see. And then Bianca Belair coming out to basically lead the girls to the ring. Bianca Belair has such a positive impact on children, and the fact that she did that, that is the reason why she cannot turn heel right now. She is female John Cena.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
can't have her come out with a troop of little girls. And let's address the elephant in the room right now. Triple H addressed in the press conference after WrestleMania
Oh, yeah.
that little contortionist that I just mentioned, her mother died the morning of WrestleMania. And she still went on with the performance because she didn't want to let her team down. We just saw Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus beat the hell out of each other. None of them are stronger than that little girl.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
anywho,
okay.
We wanted to pay respects to that.
This match was this match was really good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's going to be as memorable as Charlotte and Rhea in the grand scheme of things.
Agreed.
Also because the build wasn't as good. Like, neither women's title match on this card really had the greatest build in the world, but I thought the wrestling was solid in this for the most
made
part.
Up for it. Totally made up for it.
Absolutely.
There's something about Bianca Belair's matches that are just so physical. And I think Bianca Belair is stiff in her own right. Early in the match, she hits a power bomb on the outside, and you forget to hear that splat. And Corey Graves totally marked out for it, saying, like, that's it. She's done. Throw her back in the ring. There's no way she's getting up from that. And that was a nasty power bomb that Asuka took. This was really good back and forth action from both of them. I don't think this really warranted a heel turn from either one. I just wanted to see a really good competitive match.
Just a babyface and babyface match.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. WrestleMania has been filled with those over the years. And I just wanted to see a good competitive match. This is the match where you could audibly hear us getting upset over the screen going off because it happened again. And we were so fucking fed up with it that we started booing, but then they brought it back up and we all cheered. It was great.
I want to see Bianca Belair's awesome gear that she made. And again, let's address this. Bianca Belair is one of the most creative souls in the wrestling business right now because she legitimately makes all of her own gear herself. And it was a Hollywood Walk of Fame spoof that she had with her name emblazoned on the star and everything. So freaking cool. So freaking cool. But, I mean, the match gets a little bit more exciting towards the end. They get about 16 minutes of work. But Bianca, it's pretty cut and dry. Bianca hits Asuka with a KOD and pins her and retains the title.
I wouldn't say it's very cut and dry because I feel like near the end of it, they started teasing who was going to win this match, and Asuka went for the miss, and Bianca Belair ducked from it.
That
right. Leads
Thank
into
you.
A KOD attempt, but that gets countered into an armbar. And I thought that's where maybe Asuka could win, but then Bianca Belair with an excellent beat of strength into the KOD. She then wins the match. I wanted Asuka to win this match, but I'm not mad because I too am a big fan of long title runs, and this is the one I kind of wanted to see the most, even though I wanted Asuka to win. Bianca Belair has been Raw Women's Champion for over a year, and I want to see her be the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion of all time. I'm going to give this 3 3/4 stars. This was really fun, and this was excellent. And I know everyone wants to see Asuka win at WrestleMania, but I just think if there was a title run that needed to keep going, it was this one.
Yeah. Out of all 3 title runs that could have been snapped, so this is the one I absolutely would not have minded continuing. But in any case, it absolutely does. Bianca Belair is going over 365 days here. But now we go to something incredibly awkward, Tomas, that I can't wait to talk about. The Miz and Snoop Dogg are back out there, and they're going over the WrestleMania attendance for the weekend and everything, which, again, the attendance is bullshit, right?
Which is bullshit.
Yeah. WrestleMania Sunday is more than WrestleMania Saturday, and they're saying the combined record is this, when they know full well that a lot of people there are going to both nights of WrestleMania. Like...
Apparently, we cloned ourselves.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, there's two of me running around right now. Be very afraid. So, they're cutting a promo.
Yeah, then I should get 2 paychecks. I should get 2 breakfasts. I should get 2 lunches. It's bullshit, WWE.
Yeah, come on, man. So, Miz is mad about what happened the night before with Pat McAfee and George Kittle. Snoop Dogg basically says, "My bad." Miz is livid that there's surprises galore.
Before you say that, can I just say that I've seen 2 people say this already that I've listened to, and I don't know what show they were watching. They kept saying the Miz wanted another open challenge. No, he didn't.
No. He not.
Didn't. Why are people saying that?
He did not ask for another open challenge, but all of a sudden...
They were saying, oh, the Miz wanted to redo. Like, no, he did not. Snoop Dogg said, do you want to do it again? And Miz said no. What fucking show were they watching?
Snoop Dogg was basically setting the Miz up for failure because, lo and behold, Shane McMahon, of all people, comes down to the ring. And he gets a pretty nice-sized pop, too. And I'm like...
He did.
That's another way to say fuck you to his father, because when Vince fired him after the Royal Rumble debacle in St. Louis, he basically said that his son would never draw another reaction like that ever again. Well, lo and behold, Shane McMahon's music hits, the crowd pops so freaking loud, and he basically showed his father up in more ways than one.
But
so good job on you, Shane.
I agree with you. I popped for Shane because I wasn't expecting Shane. But I will admit, when he made his way half down the ramp, I was going, yay! Wait, what?
It's not what? Lashley. It's not LA Knight.
Why?
Yeah. It's not Matt Riddle.
But
it's not, yeah.
Big E. It's not Jay White. It's not Bronson Reed. It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not The Rock. I'm just sitting here going, why? Huh? Why Shane? Why?
Yeah.
Who asked for this? Who asked for Shane? And then the other thing I thought was, like, we already got this match at WrestleMania, and it sucked.
The Falls Count Anywhere match wasn't, like, that bad, was it? I don't remember it being horrible, but...
The story was just weird, because Miz was babyface, and Shane was heel.
Well, Shane was the best in the world. You're forgetting that, but...
And Shane didn't need to win that match. No, but I digress. So here we go, Shane versus The Miz, and that's when I just sat there and go, "Is this real life? Am I really sitting here watching Shane versus The Miz?" And then
so Shane,
okay, I'm gonna describe this from my point of view. So the match starts, and Shane starts punching The Miz, and then Miz sends Shane to the ropes. Shane does a drop down, he does a leapfrog, and then he crumbles. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, is Shane faking an injury? And then I see that Miz is not
knew he
going
was
on
done.
offense.
I knew he was done.
Yeah, Miz wasn't going on offense, and I just go, "What's happening? What the fuck is happening?" And then I see the medical crew going to Shane, and I'm thinking, if this is a work, what is somebody else going to come out because Shane can't wrestle? He can't wrestle, and then all of a sudden, Snoop Dogg just punches the Miz, and then he gets back up, and Snoop punches the Miz again. And then Snoop Dogg does the people's elbow. And then he pins the Miz. And I just go, what the absolute ever-living fuck just happened?
And I'm so sorry, Tomas. I kind of set us up for failure here because when we were going through our predictions, let me just give you an example. Tomas was asking me for my prediction on Charlotte versus Rhea. And then I was like, well, Liv Morgan is going to cash in her Money in the Bank that she was given backstage, and she's going to go down to the ring and punch Charlotte and win. That's exactly what happened. Snoop Dogg cashes in his $6,000 Snoop Dogg title, and he decides to defend it, and he wins. He retains the Snoop Dogg title.
So I'm just sitting here thinking, if you wanted Snoop to do the people's elbow and pin The Miz, why didn't you just do Snoop Dogg versus The Miz? I wouldn't have minded that, at least. And then I'm talking to friends who are also watching WrestleMania, which was good because I can ask them what was going on from the TV side. And I text my friend Sean and I go, dude, what the fuck just happened to Shane? Because I am so confused right now. And he goes, I don't know. That looked like a real injury. And
well, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened, Tomas.
Yeah.
Shane showed up his father once again because he tore his quad on the big stage. And we're going to get into this when we talk about Royal Rumble 2005 in our retro. But that show is infamously known for Vince McMahon tearing both of his quads after the botched finish in the Royal Rumble match. Shane was probably sitting there like, oh, you tore your quad at the Royal Rumble? Watch me tear my quad at WrestleMania. That's exactly what he did. It was probably not intentional, but
for his quad.
He sure
and
did.
The only thing I can think of throughout this entire debacle is somebody didn't stretch before the match.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Shane, I hope you feel better soon, buddy.
Yeah.
But
here on the ZNT Wrestling Show, we do not mock people for getting injured.
No.
We do not. But who asked for Shane McMahon to come out and wrestle? Who asked for that?
Not me. I wasn't expecting Shane.
If Shane just made an appearance, cool. We'll pop for Shane. But who asked for Shane to wrestle?
Could have
gotten... when the match started, I'm just sitting here going, fuck asked for this.
Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Big E if he was healthy, Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight. Yeah, those are all the people that could have gone into this, but it was Shane fucking McMahon instead. And that's how we got to this.
Good for Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg handled it like a fucking pro.
And he hit the worst people's elbow of all time, didn't he?
You mean the best people's elbow of all time? What are you talking about?
Hey, don't slander The Rock like that. That is not allowed. But
Snoop was, okay, now that it's all said and done, Snoop was fed instructions by both the cameraman and referee Jessica Carr. The cameraman told Snoop to punch The Miz, and then Jessica told him to hit the people's elbow. But Snoop handled it like such a pro. He wasn't fazed by anything. Snoop is more professional than most professional wrestlers, if I say so myself. So that's why Snoop was the best WrestleMania host of all time. He was in the beginning of the show. He drove Rey Mysterio out to the ring. He did the Pat McAfee and Miz stuff. He did this stuff. He was all over the place. Take notes, everybody. That's how you be a WrestleMania host.
Gotta love Snoop.
Did the audible of all audibles. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, we're almost there.
Almost there. What do we have next?
The next match is Hell in a Cell. The first Hell in a Cell match in WrestleMania since 2016 from Shane McMahon and The Undertaker. Before we get into this, we were all so excited. We got the promo package, and then we got this eerie candles around the fucking thing, and we're already fucking movie trailer.
It's for the Pope's Exorcist, starring Russell Crowe. And I immediately stood up as people were. Tomas can attest. I immediately stood up in my section as people were booing around me, and I was like, "Hey, it's WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. This sponsorship actually makes sense because they're promoting a movie." You know.
But I'm just sitting here like, God damn it, they did it again.
They fucked you over again.
We forgot to mention the first time it happened. We were getting ready for the tag team title main event, and then we got smacked in the fucking face with an Intuit tax commercial.
Oh, we sure did. People were pissed off. But
and then
this was, and then we get to the entrances.
The Demon King Finn Balor. The whole year, Edge has been feuding with the Judgment Day, all for it to come down to this in the not red Hell in a Cell. Thank you, Triple H, for that. And then, like I said, we got the entrances. Sure, it's 2015 all over again. Russell Crowe did a cold open for Edge. Oh, before we get to the entrance, I want to talk about the promo package real quick. I've never seen a promo package that chronologically explained Edge's career without missing a single detail so perfectly. And Finn Balor's career to that extent.
And I don't know if you noticed this detail, but the narrator did it all in rhyme. So it was pretty cool. That's a pretty cool little detail. Yeah. So
that's up there with one of my favorite promo packages of all time.
Really great.
First, we get Slayer.
Yeah.
And Edge rises from the stage.
He sure does. Then we get Metalingus and everybody singing along with it. But let me address this.
Edge is wearing a crystal skull hood with some demon wings. That was so fucking cool. Like we said, we got the classic Edge thing that he was doing all the big pay-per-views. The first half is Brood. And I love how on the Titantron it says Brood.
Oh,
Edge.
God.
This is what point.
Okay. This is what I wanted to talk about. So this was billed as quote-unquote Brood Edge versus the Demon King. Now, Edge makes his way to the ring first, And hearing Slayer at WrestleMania, whoever had that on their bingo card, like Corey Graves said, good on you, because I was not expecting that. But he comes out to Slayer, not the Brood's bop of an entrance theme from the Attitude Era. Comes up to the Fire. You know, okay, that's a nod to the Brood, but he did that last year. He did that to the Other Side by Alter Bridge. Sort of an ode to the Brood, but not exactly, you know, the Brood. He doesn't have sunglasses. Doesn't come out with gangrel. Doesn't spit out any blood. Doesn't look like a vampire in any way.
I don't want him to call him gangrel.
Yeah. You know, the Slayer music aside,
that's stupid as
a lot of people are like, well, what makes him Brood Edge? Well, damn it, put Brood Edge on the LED Titantron. That'll make him Brood Edge.
Can I just address that right now? Everyone was like, where was Gangrel? I don't like that. I don't like when people say, oh, they need to come out with something. No, this has nothing to fucking do with Gangrel.
I know.
If Gangrel would have done the cold open, that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like when my fucking dumbass coworker told me, Jack Swagger, Hulk Hogan needs to come out with John Cena. I'm like, why? This has nothing to do with Hogan.
No.
Anywho, Metalingus hits, and this was my favorite entrance of the weekend. Because I screamed so loud I almost fainted. And it was such a being in that environment. I don't know if I want to save this for the experience review, but just being in that environment for both of these entrances, it was, oh my gosh, it was just.
Finn Balor makes his way out, and it's the whole stadium is lit up in Judgment Day purple that my girlfriend would have absolutely loved if she was there.
Purple.
Purple. Yeah. So,
purple.
Anyway, Finn Balor comes out to the old Demon King entrance song by CFO, which freaking popped.
That surprised the fuck out of me. Because if you know, Finn Balor's been doing the heel thing where his new theme song is like an evil version of that song. And every time they hit the dun-dun, he teases everybody. He'll go down and then he'll just rise up like, nah, you ain't getting that anymore. But no, he stuck with all the old stuff here. I thought the entrance was really cool. My only little nitpick was I didn't like the slow motion. I thought slow motion with the little smoke sticks, I thought that was stupid.
Little dumb if you watch it on the TV feed. Obviously, if you're in the stadium, you aren't going to tell the difference. But these two go in there, and they start immediately pulling out weapons. Edge has a red chair, and Finn Balor has a purple kendo stick. And I can only imagine Vince McMahon just sitting there like, well, damn it, if the cage can't be red, let's color up the weapons. Yeah. That's what you're going to get.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw the red chair. I'm like, oh, look, an ode to the red Hell in a Cell. I noticed that Edge hit Finn Balor with the steel chair, and Balor no-sold it. Yep. Balor just has this great thing where people say, like, what's the point of the demon? No, his whole demeanor changes when he wrestles when he's the demon. He starts no-selling shit, and he gets a lot more aggressive, I've noticed.
He no-sold weapon shots just like The Fiend no-sold weapon shots in 2019 with Seth Rollins. But hey, at least we got our redemption, seeing a Hell in a Cell match live that did not end in a disqualification. So I am cool with that.
Something else happened. Okay, before we get to that spot, Edge traps Balor in a little kendo stick cage and goes for a diving missile dropkick. I thought that was really cool. He's screaming at the cameraman to move because he's going to set up a table. Corey Graves makes a really good call saying, oh, Edge has to free Balor from the kendo stick cage. He has to because he wants to inflict more punishment on him. Balor sends Edge through the table that Edge set up. That's the cool Chris Lash special. Balor starts throwing chairs at Edge's face.
Sure does.
Then Edge pulls out a ladder and he chucks it at Balor's head. That ladder splits Balor's head. That ladder splits Finn Balor's head clean open. You look down at that. Now, from our live perspective, everyone starts booing because, there's some blood and they're fixing up Balor. I'm just like, guys, they have to do this. I'm sorry that it bothers you so much, but it's just a thing.
Finn Balor
realize
Finn Balor just might be the MVP of the entire weekend based off of this performance. Because after that ladder spot, Edge was improvising a little bit, pulling out more toys while the medical team was attending to Finn, putting 14 staples in his skull. And Finn continues the match and finishes it. Finn is a badass.
No, not only did he finish the match, he popped up like he was revitalized. Mm-hmm. He immediately started going back into it. Now watching it on the TV, that spot happens, Balor starts getting up and there's blood gushing out of his head. If you have a weak constitution, I do not recommend you look up the photo. But if you
No.
can stomach it, look up the photo. It's the most disgusting gash I've ever seen in my life.
It's on his Instagram.
It
so.
is horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Proceed with caution. If you don't do good, if you're squeamish, I do not recommend you look at it because it is disgusting.
Well, that's what
But
Hell in a Cell is
seeing
all about. This is where
yeah.
feuds go to die.
This is, it's the most horrific spot I've probably ever seen in a Hell in a Cell match. But Balor is immediately revitalized. A lot of people said that they took this match home early and it felt rushed. But I do think Edge and Balor got a lot in, everything considered. It sucks that this match went down the way it did, but it didn't take away the fact I thought this match was very good.
Oh, yeah. Very good Hell in a Cell match for sure. I would not put this above their I Quit match that they had at Extreme Rules. I just think that was a better story and I had more fun with it. But Finn was a freaking beast in this thing. Hits a coup de grace on Edge, 2 count. Edge hits an execution off the top of the ladder, not an Impaler DDT, Corey Graves. But Edge hits an execution off a ladder. It's the same move that pinned Eddie Guerrero in that classic no DQ match that I have lauded many times on this channel. Off the ladder, 2 count, execution again. Edge also hit a kill switch, which I absolutely adored seeing, and I popped big for that because I'm a big Christian mark. Balor kicks out of a spear as well. But it's at this point, Edge is like, okay, it's time to put the demon away.
Wait, no, one more thing happened. I love Michael Cole's call on this because Balor climbs to the top rope and then he looks at the cage wall and he hops onto the cage wall like it's nothing.
Like
Michael
a fucking jackal.
Get down. Yeah, get down from there, Finn. Get down from there. And all of a sudden, there's this little platform that I did not see when we were seeing it live. But why is that there? Who installed a little platform on the side of the Hell in a Cell?
Because Finn has to hit a coup de grace.
And he misses. He dives straight through that table. Edge hits a spear and Balor kicks out. This is where the ending felt a little rushed because Edge goes straight for the concerto and Balor sold it beautifully like he was a demon beast. Edge gets the win. I'm a little surprised that Edge got the win. I was going for Balor, but I'm honestly not going to complain. I got to see Edge win at WrestleMania. That's awesome. I'm going to give this 3 3/4 stars. It was really fun. The story was told very well. And just Balor just pushing through that injury like it was nothing.
I will match it.
Yeah,
I will match it. So
if that didn't happen and they got more time like they were supposed to, this could have been 4 to 4 4/4. But I can't not appreciate the work these guys put in the ring. What's next for Edge? Apparently, he's going to pull back on his word a little, and he's not that ready to retire. I'm all for it. This guy is competing at such a level that is unbelievable at his age.
It's just it's crazy, especially 3 years after his iconic return at the Royal Rumble. Like I'm all for more Edge classics here. So I'm not quite ready for Edge to retire in August.
1 week after Balor has that horrific injury, and he wrestled Rey Mysterio last night on Raw.
In a great match,
2 nights ago on Raw.
In a great match.
He's not human. Oh, and he went into that match with what? A broken rib, I heard?
He's banged up, man. He's banged up, and he's a fucking badass. So,
Balor, if they gave Balor a couple months off, he deserves that and much more. Like, he's not human.
With a bonus attached, but okay. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about this yet because the wound is still not freshly healed. So, Cody Rhodes, the winner of the Royal Rumble, is main eventing WrestleMania, challenging Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship because WWE is still advertising that they're 2 separate titles. So,
yes,
get that right.
Collectively known as the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Yep.
This felt like a WrestleMania main event. It was at this moment where they were showing the video package, and I kind of just stood up and I looked around, and it was just what a sight just to see 80,000 people in that stadium. We were ready for this main event. This has been quite, from Cody Rhodes leaving WWE in 2016 to him forming AEW to him leaving AEW and having such an amazing return last year at WrestleMania to tearing his pack inside Hell in a Cell to returning at the Royal Rumble, winning Royal Rumble, and him we all thought he was going to be the guy to take down Roman Reigns. Cody
And
Rhodes with the most amazing entrance, with the most elegant, the pageantry, the pyro,
the
to
Cody
him going to
Vader.
ringside to his beautiful baby girl sitting at ringside with Brandy, him holding him up. And I couldn't help but like get a
Oh,
little choked up at that, because here
God,
we
I
are looking
teared
at
up.
Cody Rhodes.
So
Yeah, here we
Cody,
are looking at Cody Rhodes. You know, we think he's this Superman. He's this super famous professional wrestler. And that man to that little girl is daddy. And when he
mhm.
picked her up and cradled her, I couldn't help but think, we want to see Cody Rhodes win the championship. All that little girl wants is for her daddy to read her a bedtime story. And I just couldn't help but feel just, oh, I got choked up. I get
Yeah.
choked up watching it now.
We can only hope to be half the father
And
that Cody Rhodes is to little Liberty there. So Cody greets
and
his
who
family
is
at ringside.
next?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Cody greets his family at ringside, and this is where I really, really start to get choked up as well, as if him holding Liberty wasn't enough. So he takes off his weight belt, which hidden and inscribed in there are every single promotion that he worked under since he was released from WWE. He takes the weight belt off, and he presents it to -1. He presents it to Brody Lee Jr. And I was sitting there like the way Brody Lee Jr. is looking at him, and Brody's widow on Twitter said, "The way my son looks at this man, I cannot thank Cody Rhodes enough for making my husband feel safe on the worst day of his life." Yeah, it didn't
And
strike me that
very,
it was
very,
-1, but
oh yeah, because honestly, that's the first time I've seen -1 without his mask.
yeah, yeah.
Classy, classy, classy move by WWE, letting everybody know that that's Brody Jr., Luke Harper's son. Very super classy. Like WWE gets all the brownie points in the world for that. So we've had all of that amazing entrance, the pyro, and then we get a group of grand pianos playing the final boss out to the ring. Roman Reigns being accompanied by Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman. No Usos. And I automatically thought, well, the Usos are in the doghouse right now for losing the tag team titles.
They're in the big
I don't know whose
doghouse.
entrance. Yeah, I don't know whose entrance was better, with
Cody's.
the pianos and the pyro and just the sheer just atmosphere to Roman Reigns. We get the ring introductions. We're ready to fucking go for this main event, and this main event was awesome.
It was an awesome main event, 35 minutes long. It certainly felt epic in every way, and
we all started getting nervous in the building, because I went to the bathroom right before this match, and there were fans arguing in the bathroom saying Roman Reigns is only going to lose one of the titles. They want him to get to day 1,000. This is how they're going to do it. They're going to pull some stuff like conspiracy theorists in there. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going to happen tonight? And then we got nervous because there was like little subliminal messages, like Roman Reigns only holding up the WWE title on the SmackDown going into Mania, to Paul Heyman holding the Universal title and Roman Reigns touching it, like as he was saying, don't worry, I'm not losing you tonight. To Roman Reigns asking for a microphone after the ring introductions, only to say WrestleMania acknowledge me. There was just so much like animosity in the air during this match.
Yeah, this is going to go down as probably the most polarizing main event in WrestleMania history. It was freaking great. It was a freaking great match. I don't know if I could enjoy it in the moment because I was just ready to celebrate with Cody Rhodes winning the big one. But
the psychology was excellent from the beginning of this match to Cody Rhodes overpowering or out wrestling Roman Reigns. And when Roman Reigns went to the outside, Paul Heyman feeding him some excellent advice. You don't have to prove anything. You don't need to beat him. He needs to beat you. So go in there and smash him and smash his dreams. My tribal chief. That was such a great little touch right there. And
Paul Heyman,
honestly, looking at it,
the wise man looks like he was about to have a stroke every time Cody Rhodes scored a near fall in this. Like,
and in kayfabe, Paul Heyman's right. Roman Reigns doesn't have to do anything. Cody Rhodes is the one going into this match with all the pressure.
I was just like, part of me was also concerned for Paul Heyman's well-being because I'm like, I need to make sure you're okay before you go into the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia next year, my friend. So, like, please take care of yourself. So
we got your standard Cody Rhodes offense. He hits the Dustin Rhodes, the drop down, the Goldust spot.
The
Roman
power
Reigns
slam.
hits some the power slam. Roman Reigns clotheslines. Solo Sikoa is getting involved in the match. He's hitting Cody Rhodes with the steel chair. He's about to go for another shot onto Rhodes, but the referee catches him and he ejects Sikoa from ringside. That got a huge pop from all of us.
Well, what
We were
happened was
kind of
his
thinking like,
Solo. Sorry to cut you off. He hit Cody with the weight belt.
yes, thank you.
And what a fucking bastard taking it from -1 like that. I hope
What an
-1
asshole.
got to keep the belt. And little Umaga hits Cody with the weight belt, and the referee catches Solo with a smoking gun in his hand, and he ejects him from the ring. And our section goes, nah, 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 nah,
All
nah,
the
nah.
pieces were about to fall into place. So Roman Reigns locks on the guillotine choke, which nobody has escaped from, but Cody Rhodes is able to escape from that.
Put
And this
Cody
is where the
over
stuff
like
gets
a
really good. Beautiful
Yeah.
disaster. Cody cutter for a nice near fall. Roman Reigns with the Superman punch, another nice near fall. Cody Rhodes hits.
He caught Cody going for a disaster kick, and Roman hit a Superman punch in midair, which was a beautiful
Awesome
looking
spot.
sequence. Those two have great chemistry together for their
They
first
do.
one-on-one match together. Oh boy, awesome.
They really do. Cody Rhodes hits the crossroads for a fantastic near fall there. Notice Roman Reigns has not really set up for the spear at this point. Cody Rhodes counters into a pedigree, which was very surprising to see. Another nice near fall, but then comes the ref bump. And you know when the ref bump comes, we're getting near to the end of the match. So this is where I start getting nervous.
The Usos come out. They hit Cody with the 1D and some super kicks, and they, it looks like the numbers game is catching up to Cody a little bit. But then the new tag team champions, Sami and KO, run out to a deafening ovation to even the odds. Roman is surrounded by the ghosts of his past. Kevin Owens hits a stunner. Sami Zayn hits a haluva kick. Cody crawls over. The referee comes to 1 slow count and a fucking kick out, man.
Which I knew it wasn't going to end like that. There was no way, because that wouldn't be Cody Rhodes getting the win.
No.
So we're all okay. Finally, the Usos got their spot in. KO and Sami Zayn got their spot in. And I'm like, this is it. This is where it fucking ends. Cody Rhodes is able to get a crossroads. He hits one crossroads, back up, another crossroads. And then I don't like how this was executed either, because why is Cody Rhodes just backing up into the turnbuckle? Paul Heyman is distracting the referee. Solo Sikoa, who was ejected from ringside, comes back up the apron, hits a Samoan spike on Cody Rhodes. And honestly, I'm thinking the whole time, no, not like fucking this. He's going to kick out of this. Roman Reigns goes for a spear. He hits the spear. Like, no, he's going to kick out. 1, he's going to kick out. 2, he's going to kick out. 3.
And my heart shattered. My heart
sunk into my
absolutely
seat,
shattered.
and I just
Jacob
sat there.
sitting next to me, I was sitting there speechless. I was just like looking at the ring. Jacob sitting next to me was like, it'll be okay, man. It'll be okay. And I know it will be. I'm sitting here. I'm totally fine. Didn't let this finish ruin my trip. But thinking about it more and more, this is WWE having their cake and eating it too. Because it's like, I know a lot of people are like, if it's not Cody, then who is it? I still firmly believe that Cody Rhodes is the one to take the world title from Roman Reigns. Even with this finish, and even looking back in hindsight, Cody Rhodes is going to be the guy. And he's going to do it in Detroit at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes has got to go through hard times to get there. He's got to go through hard times of his own. And a lot of people might argue, hey, Cody Rhodes needs to go through more adversity. He was given number 30 in the Royal Rumble, but he had to go through Stardust, had to go through the whole mid-card. He had to go through being robbed of the Money in the Bank by Damian Sandow. He had to be requesting his release because he was stuck in mid-card purgatory. He had to reinvent himself on the indies. He had to create a rival promotion. And now he's back in WWE. What more adversity do you need?
He tore his fucking pec and still wrestled Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the big statement I made on Twitter that really got people mad, and it got a lot of people on my nerves. Had to block a number of people. I said that this loss is like what would have happened if Shawn Michaels pinned Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. Because you have a brand new star who's on the cusp. You put him over at the Showcase of the Immortals. You have him win the world title. That's what WrestleMania is for. It's for propelling someone brand new into the main event, just like Roman Reigns about 7 years ago.
Just like Batista. just like John Cena.
Imagine if Batista lost to Triple H at 21. That's what this felt like. Because they were like, oh, Batista didn't struggle enough. He only had 2 months of build for Triple H. That's because WWE fucked up with Randy Orton. You know? Like, that should have been Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
So,
but
when this match ended, I had no energy to be upset. I just sat there and I kind of just looked down. In my mind, I go, of course. I had this weird feeling, just very weird feeling that this was going to happen. And I was just like, the first thing that popped in my head was they want to get to day 1000. And I got that.
That's what bothers me. That's what really bothers me, because like a pet peeve of mine in any case, whether it's creative, whether it's, you know, doing like all this writing stuff, having your cake and eating it too is way too easy. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, give Roman day 1000. Cool. You know, when's that ever going to happen again? All to sacrifice a WrestleMania moment for a guy like Cody Rhodes who deserves it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And look, people do not need to be a dick about it on Twitter to me. No. You know,
look, I get it. Day 1000, that's probably never going to happen again. At least not in our generation. I get it. And I know Triple H, everyone in WWE salivating. Oh my God, we're so close to 1000 days. But WrestleMania 39, Los Angeles, Inglewood, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal WWE Championship. That's never going to happen again.
No.
And I know getting to 1000 days with another guy in this scenario is going to be very difficult to do again. But that moment in time, April 2nd, 2023 in Los Angeles, with that energy, with that build, with the entrance, with all of the stuff that Cody Rhodes did, that you can never do that again.
So here's what Cody Rhodes is going to do. He's going to get the grand entrance with the Cody Vader, right? He's going to get the crowd screaming the whoa part of his song with him, right? Deafening. 81,000 strong doing that. He's going to go over to his family at ringside. He's going to hug his wife. He's going to kiss his wife, Brandy. He's going to hug his sister, hug Dusty's widow. Then he's going to pick up his little girl, and he's going to be like, wave hello to everybody, like he's a freaking president of the United States, the American nightmare, coming off like a presidential candidate here. He's going to hand his weight belt to little -1 sitting right next to his family. And then you're going to lose. Like,
why? So Roman Reigns can get to day 1000. I will admit, I was very, very, very accepting of this finish when it happened. Very accepting of it. But as the days went on, as I listened to more podcasts, as I read more Facebook posts, as I read more tweets, as I listened to everybody's, take on the situation, my tune started changing, and I just went, that was the wrong decision. That was 100% the wrong decision, because you can never get that moment back.
No.
And even though I still love the match, I still love my time at WrestleMania, it's just like you can never recreate that moment ever again. The match still gets 4.5 stars.
Oh, yeah. Wait. I'm going to match it.
Yeah, 4.5 stars.
I'm going to match it. 4.5
stars.
Yeah.
Excellent main event. If Cody Rhodes would have won the title, I would have given it 5 stars.
And I've seen exactly. If Cody won the title, this is a 5-star main event, easily. And I know I've seen this really, really like feckless argument on Twitter where people are like, oh, well, just have Cody win at SummerSlam. Let's give some love to SummerSlam. And let's have him win in a big stadium show there.
I don't give a fuck about SummerSlam.
The difference is WrestleMania is the showcase of the immortals. WrestleMania is where legends are made. And as one of my favorite movies says, I'm going to review it this month. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Okay? Cody Rhodes was a mere hero on this night. He did not become a legend. At least not yet. Yeah. I still believe Cody's the guy. I still believe Cody's going to be the one to become the world champion off of Roman Reigns, but you had one chance to do it at WrestleMania. And this may just be me selfishly sitting here saying I wanted to be there live to celebrate with Cody Rhodes. I don't care if you think that. I'm with Tomas. I think this was the wrong choice. I
Yeah,
really do.
I agree with you too. But here's the thing: even if WrestleMania wasn't at LA this year and I was just watching it on TV, I would have the same exact opinion about that. So this was the wrong call, and this is not a call that Triple H can just make up by saying, "Oh, he's going to win in a SummerSlam." It was, I don't understand. All just to get to a milestone. You don't sacrifice moments for milestones. And yeah, I'm going to give WrestleMania Night 2 a 7.5 out of 10. Nowhere near
Yeah.
as good as the second night. Combined, I'm going to give WrestleMania 39 an 8.75 out of 10. An
Yeah.
excellent, 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 damn near perfect night one with a lot of questionable bullshit on night two. And I really
Yep.
hope this doesn't become the norm for two-night WrestleManias, because I love the two-night WrestleMania idea. More WrestleMania, fuck yeah. But don't make night two. If anything, night one should be the disappointing one. You need to finish on a strong note. But
Yep.
so far, it's just been like WrestleMania night two has been WrestleMania sloppy seconds. And
Mm-hmm.
all this could have been rectified. They would have just put the title on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. 8.75 for me, which is actually the same rating I gave to both the Rumble and the Chamber this year. So at least Triple H has been consistent so far in 2023. Hopefully he can give us a good Backlash show, which looks to be headlined by Cody Rhodes against a now heel Brock Lesnar, who turned on him in a tag match on a horrendous Raw after Mania, which I was in attendance for. But, I mean, yeah, again, I feel like I'm going to make this point in the Backlash review. Wouldn't that match feel a little bit bigger if Cody Rhodes was defending the title going into it?
Mm-hmm.
You
Brock
cannot.
Lesnar cannot challenge for the championship right now because he lost to Roman Reigns.
He lost to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and then okay, I can't get too mad about this right now. But Cody Rhodes, if he wins here, he can cut a little promo, and then Brock Lesnar sees an opportunity. He's like, "Oh my God, now I can get those titles because Roman doesn't have them anymore." And he can be conniving. And Cody Rhodes is going to be the conquering hero. The conquering legend, rather. He's a hero now. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Remember that. Moral of the story. Moral of the story about WrestleMania.
Hot off the presses. Apparently, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar at Backlash is going to be a #1 contenders match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Great. Cody beats Brock Lesnar then. Perfect. So,
Anywho,
yeah, folks,
WrestleMania. This could have been one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, and it was still a very good WrestleMania, but that night two was just a sour taste. This is not our full WrestleMania thoughts. Stay tuned for our WrestleMania experience video where we're going to talk about our time at WrestleCon, our time at the Superstore, our time at a Supercard of Honor, your time at Stand and Deliver, your time at Monday Night Raw, our whole experience review where we're just going to talk about everything in between and just have a good laugh because we had a good time on this trip. And yeah, stay tuned for all the other WrestleMania shows that we did, but this was so much fun. This was so much fun.
Hit that subscribe button if you're new and tap that thumbs up as well because it really, really helps out this content, guys. Yeah, lots to look forward to. We're going to be busy, so hop on along for the ride. It'll be a lot of fun. So commence that back talk. Stay tuned.